Woodbine police reporting a crash 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike, over by the airport, Briley Parkway northbound at I-40 East, and in Belle Meade a crash. Harding Pike at Woodmont Boulevard, White Bridge Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, underway for another day and another week. Hope everyone had a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving holiday. We were off Thursday and Friday, back this Monday, and it is going to be a busy week. We're very excited about it and excited to have you with us. 615-737-9986. If you have any thought, if you want to opine on any subject matter that we bring up through the course of the day, if you just want to talk and say hello, 615-737-9986. Those are our telephone numbers, and we absolutely love taking telephone callers. It is my favorite thing to do on the radio. I love that engagement, turn a monologue into a dialogue, and you may do so on the telephone lines starting right now until 7 o'clock tonight and every Monday through Friday from 3 until 7. You can also hit us up for you shy types on the super text line at 615-737-9986. And as I signpost and do the pleasantries and get ready for the day, Jackson, I want to bring you in here early, and I just want to say hello, good afternoon, welcome to your Monday. Jackson, it might be a good idea for you to stay off the super text line right now. With that in mind, hey, Ken, good to have you back, brother.
How about you boys?
What is going on?
Full as a tick, dude.
Listen, man.
Full as a tick.
Tell you what. I love that. We had two types of dressing. And we had the cranberries, and we had the turkey, and we had all the rest of it. And it was delicious. How about you?
Yeah, we didn't have any turkey. Had a big old ham.
That's nice.
And I made a big old bunch of mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and some green beans and these little croissant biscuits. You ever had those croissant biscuits?
I have had those croissant biscuits.
You can just dip them in butter.
Oh, yeah. Or just a slather gravy all over them. Which is also good. Yeah, man.
Big old bunch of pumpkin pie.
Oh, my goodness gracious. We had pumpkin cake, which I brought some extra pumpkin cake.
I saw that.
So that's Ma's recipe, E's version of it.
Well, see, now I've got to have it now because I know what E can do.
Well,
I guarantee your grandma.
My grandma could make the woman cooked a dry bird, Kim, but she could make a pumpkin cake. Always a sheet cake with so she did stack like red velvet and all that, but the pumpkin cake was always a sheet cake. And,
yes.
Man, oh, man, so good with the cream cheese icing on top. Oh, absolutely loved it. Well, it was good stuff, good stuff. The reason Jackson's not talking to me right now, Kim, but the reason I advised Jackson to stay away from the super text line.
Yes, sir.
It's already started. I know you can't see it back there in News Closet, but
I can't see it.
But I have from a message from 1905 that says, "Allow me to get things started." I don't even want to do this. We've got so much to do. We got the 7th Congressional District race to talk about. We got that. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
We got national news. The clock is ticking on the Epstein files. We got the WAPO article on the Hexeth stuff, Secretary of War. But this is a fella in an orange shirt that says UT on it. That says, and he's got a little bib on that says, "I'm a big orange baby." And he's got a pacifier in his mouth.
Goodness.
And 1905 just said, "Allow me to get things started." That's all he said. And then he posted that picture. So, Jackson, my plea to you today, based on, Ken, would you like to relate the conversation that you and I attempted to have about football before the game? Before the show today?
Let's just say Brother Jackson is very passionate about SEC football.
No, I'm not. He can go to hell.
Hey, you having a snack while you're talking to us? What are you doing over there?
Ice cube in my mouth.
I would just, we try, so Ken and I are, now admittedly, Weaver, you and I have it pretty good right now.
Well, we're all right now.
We're doing all right. OU is going to be in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
I don't see any dynamic where they're not. Georgia's going to be in the playoffs. I don't see any dynamic where they're not. And so you and I were discussing before the show, like, why are we having an SEC championship game anymore?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It's all for money.
And it is.
But it's going to get kids hurt.
Well, and I asked the question, why would Kirby Smart or Venables, for that, I mean, whoever it is, why wouldn't you sit some of your starters in the SEC championship game, understanding that you're heading to the playoffs anyway? Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So it's a difficult proposition. And so I turned to Jackson, who is the well-known resident sports expert,
yes, sir,
of the Matt Murphy radio show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And Brother Ken Weaver and Matt Murphy looked at Jackson and said, hey, Jackson, what are your thoughts on this as the resident sports expert of the Matt Murphy radio show? And Jackson said something along the lines of, to hell with football.
And I meant it.
Is that fair? Is what you're like, to hell with Georgia, to hell with Alabama, to hell with football. It's basketball season.
Yeah. Nate Ament's going to be a top 5 NBA draft pick. Y'all just watch. We're coming for all y'all's asses.
All right, as I'm going to ask this question, we're just going to get this out of the way, and we're going to move on to some politics. Jackson, without being nasty.
How nasty?
You can't be nasty. Do you have an ability to give Vanderbilt any credit?
I'm going to put it this way.
No nasty.
I'm not going to curse.
No. Okay. Do you have an ability to give Vandy any credit?
Ohio State could win 20 national championships in a row.
Uh-huh.
And if they were playing Vanderbilt for the 21st, I'm wearing all Ohio State gear.
You got that Buckeye head on here.
Also, shout out to our great Tennessee Highway Patrolman getting another Pavia off the streets.
Oh, I saw that. Oh, my God. The brother. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Old boy can't handle his liquor. Y'all need to watch him in the stands up there. He can't handle his liquor. And by the way, y'all know, I'm not knocking Pavia. We all got him in our family. But y'all know that before he got his ass arrested, he threw out a "Don't you know who I am?" Y'all know he did. Y'all know he did. But
I'm the quarterback's brother.
Like that. I'm the Heisman Trophy winner, brothers and sisters, cousins, third. You need to let me go. No, that's not how that works.
Was it this season or last season that he and his father were fighting?
No, that was Georgia Tech fans. That was Haynes King.
Oh, that was Haynes King.
Mm-hmm. Equally trashy.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry about that, Pavias. That was Kansas State's quarterback's brother.
What it was.
And father fighting.
This is the second Pavia that's been arrested for public intox this season.
Isn't it the same Pavia, though?
I think it's a different one. He's got multiple brothers.
So it's a different brother?
Oh.
So, like, the whole family's getting arrested?
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh. Anyway, you just need to stay away from the text line. I just want to know from 1905, is that supposed to be Jackson or...
I looked at it. He's Asian. It's not me.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's supposed to be representative of you, Jackson. I think that's, yeah. Okay, anyway, that's enough of the sport. Maybe a sports update later on. Once you calm down a little bit. Maybe a sports update later on the talk.
You got 3 to 5 business days?
Yeah. Weeks. Got weeks. It's episode 933 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and we got a busy one for you. I hope that you're able to join us on any of the platforms in which we broadcast. Obviously, we're on 99.7 FM from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. You can also find us on iHeart. You can find us on Spotify. We're on TuneIn. We have our own app. If you type in Super Talk 99.7 WTN into your app finder, you'll find us, and you download the app and take us wherever you want to go. We appreciate you doing that on your smartphone technology and whatnot. And you can also find us, for you masochists in the listening audience, you can also find us on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. It's a Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. Man, oh man, I remember November just like it was yesterday. Because I guess it was. But it's December 1st, friends. And I don't begrudge any one of you from having your Christmas decorations out in abundance. And congratulations. And by the way, I don't have to do Christmas decorations because I'm house shopping. And because I'm house shopping, there's no Christmas decorations, which is kind of nice. It's almost a bonus, if you will. We've got a couple of things to tell you about. One, tomorrow we will be at the Valor Ridge location of the Men of Valor, the campus that I tell you often about in Nashville. We're going to be at that location, a day of giving for the Men of Valor, a wonderful organization that I'm so proud to be affiliated with. We'll talk all about that tomorrow on the show. We'll also obviously talk about Election Day on the show tomorrow as well. We've got a lot to do tomorrow as we are on location at the Men of Valor campus, Valor Ridge campus, all afternoon from 3 until 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Don't forget, a week from tomorrow is our big toy field, which is happening at Nissan Stadium. And if I'm not mistaken, we're out at that too, right? We're doing the entire show out there. Is that right? I think that's right. I think we're doing it
next week.
That's what I'm saying. You missed a part of that. So, yeah, tomorrow we're out at Valor Ridge, but a week from tomorrow we're out at Toy Field, and I think we're on location doing the show, right? I think that's right.
Yes, I believe so.
And we got some nice, cool conditions for the start of December, which is pleasant. Ken, what is the I'd be an asked.
Real feels.
No, I know. I didn't. No. Several people on the Super Text line have asked about the real feels, and we don't care about that. We care about what the temperature is. The real feels in here. I made a tactical arrow wearing my Dusty Slay sweatshirt, my hoodie.
It's hot in there. Isn't it?
It's hot in here,
yes,
and
sir.
this was a tactical error on the operator's part. But it is cool outside, and it's getting cooler, and the expectation is a snow line. There's a wintry mix line. Is that correct, Ken?
Wintry mix, Brother Murphy and Brother Jackson. Looks like a chance of measurable wintry mix is 30 to 90%. How about that range? Chance of 1 inch or more, minus, or rather less than 20%. And earlier today, Dan Thomas said that if there's any accumulation, it's more than likely going to be along the Kentucky border and then in Kentucky.
Okay, so
just some rain mixed with snow and some sleet, but not really anything measurable is expected in Middle Tennessee. But you can't rule it out. I mean, in these cold weather conditions, you never know. And I know how much you love those cold weather conditions. Oh, I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah, I bet you are. I'm thankful, too. I love it. I kind of dig it. I like all the seasons, including this one. And, you know, I come from a place where there were 4 seasons. There was hot as hell, football, Christmas, and getting hot. Those are the 4 seasons.
Yes, sir.
And so I appreciate an area where we have a little bit of a winter time. By the way, if I said that incorrectly, Bobby, I apologize. Bobby's on the Super Text line telling me that I said that Oklahoma was in the SEC championship game. Trust me, Bobby, I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I know exactly who the Bulldogs are playing on Saturday next, particularly in as much as Kirby Smart can't beat that team. And I don't have any expectation that we'll beat that team on Saturday either. And that would be the hated Alabama Crimson Tide.
Hope you lose. You too, Ken. You're not even playing. I hope you lose.
How can they lose if you don't know? You just hope.
Lose the bye week.
Yeah.
It's not fair, though, man. I mean, I'm not complaining because my Sooners were just sitting back and watching and healing up.
I mean,
while Alabama and Georgia are going to have to knock the hell out of each other one more time.
How odd is it that, I mean, I'll never root for the University of Alabama, so I was rooting for Auburn on Saturday. But how odd is it that earlier, I mean, I'm rooting for Texas A&M to beat Texas because I have no interest in being in the championship game.
Right.
Because if we're not, we're 11-1 and we get a bye. The odds are we're going to get a bye. Unless they jump Texas Tech. But even if you don't get a bye, you're playing the group of 12. Would I rather play Alabama again, or would I want to play North Texas or whatever the hell the team is?
See, that's what they're doing. They're like in the Big 12, Texas Tech is going to have to play BYU again. And so what they're doing is they're threatening the SEC. They're threatening one of those bye weeks. You better win that conference championship, Georgia and Alabama.
Well, and at least I guess Jackson can take some solace in this. Poor Vandy. They lose to Alabama and to Texas.
And they're going to be in the cold, and I love it.
And they're left out in the cold. Nobody's even talking about them.
Right.
In the championship, in the playoffs.
Texas got more butts than them.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. With 3 losses, they have more buzz. Oh, I don't know. It's it's good. It's all good. It's yapping season, and that's all good and fine. It's yapping season when it comes to politics as well, and we're going to yap about it in a moment. Coming up at 3:35, Joe Gruters will join us. Joe is the chairman of the Republican National Conference. He's in the state today. You might have seen him in Williamson County earlier. He's going to be up in Clarksville a little bit later on this afternoon, traveling with Mike Johnson and Matt Van Epps as they endeavor to push Matt Van Epps over the finish line in the last 24 hours before voting starts, I guess, tomorrow, bright and early. Voting tomorrow, vote early, vote often, as they say in the state of Tennessee. I have a number of thoughts about this. I understand that many of you are tired of the advertisements, but it's the only thing going right now, and we knew that this was going to happen. And for those of us that have been covering this race for months, not weeks, for those of us who have been all in on this since January, well, I mean, not January, I guess, whenever it was that Mark Green finally made the decision that he was not running again, and I suppose that was sometime I heard about it in March, maybe April, that he would make the decision. I mean, after the big, beautiful bill, the idea was, and we heard behind the scenes before we ever announced it, that the idea was if the big, beautiful bill got passed, that Mark Green was out as a representative prematurely. It's sadly, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, he's like Lane Kiffin coaching Ole Miss. He just left before the playoffs started. But there it is. I mean, it is what it is, and Mark Green's out, and you need a new representative. And many people that are just joining the party do not have the nuance of the dynamics of this political election or this political district. Congressional District number 7 was refigured intentionally to give 5 to the Republicans, which it accomplished, by the way. The Tennessee General Assembly, and I'm going to talk about this in a moment because it's important to understand the background. And I understand that Trump won by 22. And I understand that the incumbent, the long-standing incumbent in that district, won by plenty last time Mark Green ran. But this district was intentionally turned into a plus 14 district. So if Matt Van Epps wins by 10 or more points, that is not outside of the realm of what he should win by. In an open election like this, without an incumbent, with someone like Afton Bain running on the extreme leftist agenda, the progressive leftist agenda, getting out the vote in Nashville and those other metropolitan areas. There aren't many, by the way. It's Nashville, Clarksville, and that's about it. But I expect and always have that Matt Van Epps will ultimately win this election by about 10 or so points, 55-45, something along those lines. It is not nearly as close as the Emerson poll suggested. I don't believe it for a second. It is a leftist polling organization that is attempting to use a poll. I don't know that the polling organization, I wouldn't say that the polling group themselves would use this poll to their own political advantage, but certainly the leftists are using it to their political advantage, trying to motivate their base to get out. This is not someone that is prepared to lead. It is not someone, Afton Bain, that has any understanding of her political district. If she had any understanding of the 7th Congressional District, would she be inviting people like Ocasio-Cortez to a telehall? And oh, by the way, the Democrats, they care so much about this damn district, they don't even show up. Jasmine Crockett didn't show up. AOC's not showing up. Al Gore's not even showing up. They're doing it by telephone. So that's how much they care. And don't tell me Kamala Harris showed up. Kamala Harris showed up for her Ryman Auditorium book tour. She did not show up for Afton Bain and never mentioned her name. The Democrats aren't all in on this. Not for a second are the Democrats all in on this. Has the Tennessee Black Caucus endorsed Afton Bain? When's that going to happen? Has Justin Jones endorsed Afton Bain? Y'all want to get down to it? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The black community does not like this candidate. Period. Exclamation point. And they are begging. The Democrats are begging black voters to go vote, and they're not motivated to do it. You know why? Because their leaders aren't motivated to tell them to do it. People like Justin Jones. Where's Karen Camper? Huh? Where's the Democrat endorsed? When's Bo Mitchell? Have any of her political rivals endorsed her? The mainstream media, let me get on a soapbox here. The mainstream media, local mainstream media, as soon as the primary votes were counted, they were running to Jody Barrett, and they were running to Gino Balso, and they were running to Lee Reeves, and every other Mason Foley. Oh, do you endorse? Do you endorse? Do you endorse the candidate, Matt Van Epps? Do you endorse him? And all of them, for the most part, I don't think Jody ever officially said that he endorsed him. He said he supported the candidate. He supported the Republican. Where's the endorsement by the Democrats? Has Bo Mitchell endorsed Afton Bain? Has Vincent Dixie endorsed Afton Bain? Has Copeland endorsed Afton Bain? If they did, I've missed it. And the media is telling us this is close. If it's so close, why doesn't AOC get her ass on a private plane and get down here? Where's Al Gore? Doesn't he live here? That's not funny, Matt. I don't believe that's very timely. I'll work on my Al Gore and I'll get back to you. It's 26 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It is official, and it's going to run out soon. At Savory Spice, they now have sparkle syrup. It's run amok. Sparkle syrup. I have a bottle, and I hope you do, too. If you don't have any yet, you better get some quick because this always sells out so quick. It's a huge hit over the course of the holidays. The kids love it. The adults love it, too. What is it? It's a sparkle syrup. It's exactly what you think it is. It's delicious run amok syrup, but it has sparkles in it, and it is limited only to the holiday season, and it is in stock at Savory Spice right now. You need to go to Savory Spice to go get it. But if you need to restock for Christmas goodies, for baking needs, whatever you need over the holidays, they've got it at Savory Spice. Thanksgiving is done, and now it's on to Christmas season. And they have everything to make the flavors of the season pop in every recipe that you cook at Savory Spice. So go by and see them. Holly and David are ready for you. And hopefully, they still have some delicious sparkle syrup at Savory Spice. I was lucky enough to get my hands on a bottle early. What about you? Savory Spice, located in the heart of Franklin, just off the square. You'll smell it before you see it. Tell them that Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Savory Spice. Genesis Diamonds shines this time of year. The cases are jam-packed with the best gifts available, highest quality, at the guaranteed best value around. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. And if you're looking for engagement rings this time of year, diamond bracelets, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, anything for the holidays, colored gemstone jewelry, or pre-owned Rolex watches, they've got it. And listen up, this December at Genesis, you can get the holiday jewelry she wants for $0 down and no interest for 5 years. You heard me correctly. On approved credit now. That's going big without going broke, right? Pick any item, spread your payments over 5 years, zero interest. That $6,000 ring is just $100 a month. You do the math. Everything's affordable. Just divide it by 60. Genesis non-commissioned experts are ready to help you find the headliner gift from a few $100s to a few $100,000. Whatever your budget calls for, they've got it at Genesis Diamonds. And if you love a deal, here's something all new for 2025, the Genesis Diamonds Half-Price Holiday Vault, a select group of showcases featuring expertly curated Christmas gifts that Genesis is offering at half price, 50% savings. You need to check it out. Genesis Diamonds, the place for that spectacular holiday gift. Green Hills and Cool Springs. Tell them Murphy sent you to Genesis.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and it looks like counties west of 65 and north of 40 in Middle Tennessee will be under a winter weather advisory tonight. There could be accumulation of a rain, snow, sleet mix of less than 1 inch in parts of Middle Tennessee. We'll give you more details during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Yeah, tomorrow's Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, and House Speaker Mike Johnson and other notable Republicans campaigning for Matt Van Epps, urging voters to get to the polls. During a stop in Franklin this morning, Speaker Johnson got a call from President Trump and put him on speaker.
Get out tomorrow morning, get out and vote, and let's make it a sweeping victory. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district.
Most polls have shown Van Epps with an 8 to 10 point lead over Democrat Afton Bain, but there is one new Emerson College polling and the Hill survey showing it's neck and neck. Van Epps leading Bain 48% to 46% among likely voters. Right now in Nashville, Metro Police investigating a deadly crash on Brick Church Pike where a woman's body was dragged for miles. Officers say a 17-year-old hit the woman and drove off, later admitting what happened to his parents. A second driver discovered the body under his car after reaching home, and he called police. The teen is facing several charges. The victim's name has not yet been released. And if you're looking for a job and you don't mind driving, consider Middle America, says Wayne Cabot.
The biggest gains in job listings are all in small towns. Indeed says the biggest jump is in St. Joseph, Missouri. Job listings up 81% since the pandemic. Looking into what's driving those numbers? Driving. Listings galore for truck drivers, Amazon, Walmart, FedEx. CDL drivers can make $100K or more. Bigger cities like San Francisco and Seattle saw job listings plunge by a third since early 2020. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Woodbine police say there's a crash 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike. Berry Hill got a stalled vehicle blocking the left shoulder. 65 northbound just past I-440. Over by the airport, a crash. Briley Parkway northbound there at exit 6. And in Belle Meade, a crash. Harding Pike at Woodmont Boulevard, White Bridge Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. We have entered official cold and flu season, right? December, I think it becomes official once the calendar rolls over to December. And if you've got a cold, why in the world would you wait to go to the doctor? Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but sadly, that's the way it is at most doctors' offices where you call in, say, hey, I'm sick, I need to come in. Oh, yeah, we've got you 2 weeks from now. What is that all about? At Grace Point Healthcare, they don't make you wait. At Grace Point Healthcare, they're a direct pay primary care provider, which means all treatment decisions are made between you and your doctor, not between you, your doctor, your insurance company, the pharmaceutical industry, and everything else. They believe in doing it that way because that's the way it should be done. Secondarily, they don't believe in making you wait. And if you are waiting weeks with delay trying to schedule an appointment, why not go to Grace Point Healthcare? Even for new patients, same day or next day service with a physician at Grace Point. You're usually seen then with new patients, too. Ask them about the Smart Care plan where you pay monthly and you have unlimited office visits throughout the course of the year. And that's only $99 a month, and you can pay with your HSA. That's what it's all about. That's thanks to the big, beautiful bill. So give them a call today at 599-6868, 599-6868, located in the heart of Franklin, available anywhere. It's the one and only Grace Point Healthcare. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, back after the Matt Murphy Radio Show, this Monday edition, December 1. We got a day to go before the big election. Obviously, the 7th Congressional District getting national attention. I look up, I can't get Afton Bain to come back on the radio show. She was on, right? You know, remember when she was on with us during the primary? She said she'd be back on during the general election. I text her regularly, and she will not come back on with us because we know the real Afton Bain, and these national shows do not. She just got done with a national interview with CNN.
She got drilled.
Did she? Did she really? Were you listening?
Yes.
And?
She avoided answering every question that CNN asked her.
Well, that's typical. Maybe we'll pull that up in a minute. In lieu of her not coming on our radio show because we know the real Afton, maybe we'll pull that up because these national networks, they're just asking her to clarify certain positions on where she's been over the years on certain aspects of her record, and she will not clarify any of them for friendlies. And these are friendlies. Speaking of friendlies, let's talk to Joe Gruters. He is the Republican, he's the RNC chair and a good Florida man, and we appreciate his time today in Tennessee. We appreciate his attention to the race, the 7th Congressional District race, and Joe Gruters joins us on the Matt Murphy Show this afternoon. Mr. Joe, how are you, sir?
Hey, doing fantastic, Matt. Thanks so much for having me on, and thanks for talking about this race.
Well, let me tell you, we've been on it for months, and I'm proud of our national Republicans like yourself, like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, like our President of the United States of America, joining in this race. You know, I started the show by saying, Joe, the Democrats act like they're invested in this race. They won't even show up to support Afton Bain. They just call it in, some old school Democrats. But we're showing up and we're showing out, and I think we're going to show America what Tennessee's all about tomorrow.
Well, that's it. You know, we expect Tennessee to be the red wall on behalf of the party. You know, we had a couple of tough races in some of these blue states and in New York City, and it's almost where Bain should probably be running is areas like New York City, not Tennessee and Nashville. And so we've had 7 or 8 rallies already today marching across the district. Speaker Johnson, you know, the chairman of the Tennessee Party, Scott Golden, both of your U.S. senators, almost all of your members of Congress. It's amazing the turnout. We don't see this in different states, and it's a testament to the leadership on the ground here and to the fact that Tennessee is united on behalf of Van Epps, and he's run a really solid race, and we just have to finish strong and make sure people turn out. You know, I'm a little concerned with the potential snow, but I'm hopeful that everybody will show up and make sure that we deliver a resounding victory for the president.
Well, I never believed this poll that had Afton Bain within like 3 points. I never believed it. I don't think that that's real numbers. At the same time, I think there was I think it boomeranged on the leftists that try to use that as fodder to suggest that they are close to winning this seat, because I think it woke some of our conservative friends up that maybe weren't aware that there was an election. Obviously, it's a special election. It's coming a week after Thanksgiving. My only fear in all of this, Joe, as I analyze it for the last 4 months, was that we would not get the turnout necessary. But I think your presence in the state, Mike Johnson coming to the state, Donald Trump weighing in on it, it truly does make the conservatives in the 7th District aware of the stark contrast between a man like Matt Van Epps and, you know, a radical like Afton Bain.
Yeah, exactly right. And you're exactly right. I think it was a wake-up call, some of these polls. But what we've done as a result is, you know, we've dumped just an absolute ton of money, a lot of resources, both from a financial perspective and a manpower perspective after the primary. You know, we coming together and making sure that the Van Epps and the Tennessee team has everything that they need to make sure that they win. And at the end of the day, a win's a win. I think we're going to finish off strong here, but it's, you know, you can never take any of these things for granted. But like I said before, I think this is the Tennessee red wall. I think we'll reverse everything. Hopefully the midterm direction starting tomorrow, we have a real opportunity to show the country that that Donald Trump's policies are the winning policies, and that we're going to continue to lead by being out in front.
Joe Gruters with us. He's the chairman of the Republican National Committee, obviously in Tennessee. This election, this race, getting a lot of national attention, and rightly so. Talk to us about what it means, I mean, broadly, Joe, moving into 2026, because especially with Marjorie Taylor Greene announcing her retirement in January, the razor-thin majority that is enjoyed by the Republicans in the House of Representatives, I've made the case, and tell me if I'm wrong, that if we expect anything to get done in the beginning portions of 2026, obviously we know what's going to happen starting around April or May. The transition will move to the midterm elections, and there's precious little that will be done after that. But if we expect anything to get done in the early stages, we've got to have this race.
Well, that's right. This is the big test for the Republicans. But what you saw during the shutdown from the Democrats is exactly what you expect will happen if the Democrats gain control of the House. They're going to obstruct, they're going to impeach, they're going to investigate the president and every member of the cabinet. It's going to be an absolute disaster. We want to make sure we give the president a full 4 years. We have the ability to do that. We have the Tennessee could do that tomorrow by putting Van Epps into Congress and making sure that we're successful, but we need people to turn out. That's why we're here. That's why Speaker Johnson is spending all day here. And yes, it's listen, the president, I talked to him today. I've talked to him all the time. I told him exactly what's happening on the ground here in Tennessee, that we have the energy, we have the momentum. There's a lot of enthusiasm. You know, it's tough to get people to show up for even a sitting member of Congress. And the fact that we had a couple hundred people at that first rally, and that we've had people, you know, large groups of people of every single one of the events we've gone to today, like I said, it shows you that people are aware of the campaign. They're behind Van Epps and his campaign, and I think that we're on track for a good day. We just got to finish strong.
Joe, what's the day like for you the rest of the day? You guys up in Montgomery County? You up in Clarksville later on today?
Yes, we're having a big rally, and I know the president's going to be on the phone having a teletown hall rally. So if anybody gets a phone call tonight from a number they may not recognize, that's probably the president of the United States calling, and he's going to have a teletown hall rally with the speaker and Matt Van Epps, and then we have one. I think we're down to our last big rally right here. I don't know exactly where it is, but I know it's at some type of fun house for a go-kart place and everything else. So it should be a lot of fun.
Well, jump in the go-karts before the snow starts. That's the big thing. Well, hopefully, I mean, and obviously we implore people who have waited till Election Day, brave, you know, I mean, obviously the conditions might be not as favorable as we would want them to be, but the importance of getting out and voting cannot be overstated. It's so vital. I know that our team, you know, if you vote mostly Republican, I feel like, you know, our team waits till Election Day more so than the other team. I get it. I wish it were not so, but we got to get them out tomorrow.
That's it. If you support the president, if you support his policies, then you got to come out and vote for these down ballot races, including Matt Van Epps. He is not only are you voting for the president's policies, but you're voting for an absolute incredible conservative. He served our country as an Apache pilot, as a helicopter pilot in different roles. West Point graduate, did a phenomenal job on the governor's leadership team here in Tennessee, and he will be an exceptional member of Congress. And he's worthy of getting up and getting a couple of your friends to join you to go out and vote for him. So.
Joe, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us, encouraging the voters to get out. Thank you for being in the state of Tennessee. I hope you've enjoyed your time, and come again soon, my brother.
Great state, Matt. Thanks so much for having me on. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
There's Joe Gruters. He is the chair of the Republican National Committee, urging people to go and vote. And I mean, obviously, you guys know what the stake is. And look, we're going to have later on today, we're going to have a third-party candidate on, Terry Christie, known as Captain Terry, who requested time with us, and we accepted that request for time. Obviously, we're bound to do that, but I do it because I believe in it. She will come on later on today. So in the interest of, you know, giving everyone an opportunity to speak their mind about the importance of voting, I would suggest this, that I understand the frustration with the Republican Party more than most. I don't belong to the Republican Party. You know, sometimes I catch myself saying we like I just did, but I don't belong to the political party that is the Republican group. I don't belong to any group. I don't belong to any political party. I mean, because I disagree with them on occasion, although I vote with them for the most part. That said, you align yourself with that individual or that political party that you believe best and most reflects your viewpoints, right? That's the whole idea of political affiliation to begin with. And if you look at these two candidates side by side, even adding in the other candidates pull away from the candidate that is clearly the better representative of the 7th Congressional District. And I understand that that's a tough dynamic for some people, where you say, well, I really like so-and-so, but so-and-so doesn't have a chance of winning. And so what do I do? You know? Bottom line is this. Either Matt Van Epps or Afton Bain will be the next congressional representative in the 7th Congressional District. Who do you want? If I gave you those two choices. Are you motivated if I gave you those two choices? Look it. I've spoken with Matt Van Epps enough, and I've been around the block a time or two in 25 plus years doing this job, that I understand that he is more low-key than some would ask for. But I don't believe that makes him the lesser of two evils. I believe that there's a clear choice based on the values of the 7th Congressional District to be made here. And I don't begrudge how people go into the polls and vote. But I'm here to tell you that if you're voting third party for whatever reason, then you're giving half a vote essentially to Afton Bain by not casting a vote for Matt Van Epps. I don't believe this will be particularly close because I think I understand the 7th Congressional District better than Afton Bain does. Afton Bain has no clue how people live in Cheatham County. No clue. She has no clue how Dixon County lives. None. She just doesn't. I mean, that's not a knock on her. She's been insulated all of her life. Now, I think Matt Van Epps has a better idea. And as I say, I understand that he's a low-key guy. I understand that he's kind of sticking to talking points. I also understand that he's going to vote consistent with the values of the 7th Congressional District population far more than Afton Bain will, and it's not even close. And that's what it's all about. And if it turns out that you don't care for Matt Van Epps, if it turns out that you want him challenged at any future time, you got next spring. I mean, this thing is turning right around on us because Matt Van Epps gets to run again in 2026, should he win election in 2025. It's 51 after the hour. Love to hear from you on this subject, 615-737-9986. We'll talk to Alice Rowley coming up in a couple of minutes. She's in studio with us. Oh, I told you about it. Don't look surprised. You were complaining about Tennessee when I told you about it, so I don't think you were listening. When I've learned something about you, Jackson. When your mouth's running about Tennessee football, your ears don't work. It's called poking the bear. On Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Tomorrow is the Men of Valor annual day of giving. During the holiday season, we ask a lot of you. I understand that. And there's a lot of folks and a lot of organizations pulling you this way or that way. But with the Men of Valor organization, let me tell you something. Your money goes to such a worthwhile and wonderful cause. And one of the reasons that I'm proud to be a part of the day of giving at Men of Valor tomorrow on the campus, the Valor Ridge campus, is because of that. I've been lucky enough to be a part of this organization as a spokesperson for several years now. I'm a giver as well because I believe in what they do. This residential discipleship academy that we'll be at tomorrow supports men who have just gotten out of prison and gives them a stable environment to help them continue their path on becoming givers in their community and not takers, their path in becoming productive members of our society. Because 90% of the men that go into prison are going to get out. What type of men do you want? You want Men of Valor. Go to movministry.com and don't forget to listen in to our Day of Giving broadcast. That's tomorrow from 3 until 7 on the campus of Valor Ridge for Men of Valor.
Well, tomorrow's Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District Special Election, and Democrat Afton Bain was just asked by CNN about Kamala Harris policies. We'll let you hear one of her answers coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Looking forward to that. Yeah, we'll chop up some of that interview because Afton is ghosting us. She was on during the primary when she was running against Vincent Dixie and what's his name, Darren Copeland and Bo Mitchell. And none of those three, to my knowledge, have endorsed Afton Bain. Why is that? Why are the Democrats not endorsing Afton Bain? Why is Justin Jones not saying her name? Why did Kamala Harris not endorse Afton Bain while she was here in Nashville? Serious question. You know, the mainstream media lied to the general public across America. The hashtag #NeverCNN Network lied to the general public. She's campaigning for Afton Bain. She never said her name. Never mentioned her name. Oh, she vaguely said, go out to vote. 2 weeks. Time to go vote. Y'all need to vote. Never said her name. That was on purpose, guys. Justin Jones actively said during a campaign rally, this is not about one candidate. This is about something bigger. Never said her name. Why does Justin Jones hate Afton Bain so much? It's a good question. And she hates him back, by the way. Kamala Harris didn't say her name. Al Gore won't show up for her. AOC won't show up for her. This, and none of the squad. Crockett couldn't be bothered to show up because they know what's going to happen. Now, I don't take anything for granted, and I think we need to get out and make sure that the 7th Congressional District voices are heard. That said, Afton is ghosting us on this show after promising that she would be on during the general election. She won't respond to me. Oh, she gives me an occasional LOL or a smiley face, but that's about it. I'm sure she'll be on after her loss. I'm certain of it. Alice Rowley's coming up. I'm excited about that. She'll talk about this election and more on the way next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. In that forecast, we'll tell you about the potential for a wintry mix. Tomorrow's Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, a special election. And Democrat Afton Bain was asked by CNN if there is one Kamala Harris policy that she does not agree with.
Once again, policy positions are, I'm trying to make life more affordable for Tennesseans. I really haven't thought about it just because I've been so fixated on winning this race and trying to lower costs for Tennessee families.
And the Tennessee Star says Democrats like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Pramila Jayapal, and former Vice President Al Gore are going to be campaigning for Bain today, but virtually. Meanwhile, the Republican in the race, Matt Van Epps, has House Speaker Mike Johnson and other notable Republicans on the ground today. Speaker Johnson in Franklin this morning took a call from President Trump and put him on speaker.
The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district. The whole world. It's a big vote. It's going to show something.
So a new Emerson College polling, the Hill survey, claims that Tennessee's 7th District special election is a dead heat, with Van Epps leading Bain 48% to 46% among likely voters. Here in Nashville, police say a woman was killed in a crash on Brick Church Pike and her body was dragged for miles before being discovered. Investigators report a 17-year-old hit the woman, left the scene, later confessing to his parents. A second driver unknowingly carried the body under his car until he got home. That's where he called authorities. That teenager's facing multiple charges. The victim's identity has yet to be released. Luigi Mangione, the man accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, in court today for a pretrial hearing, where his attorneys tried to get some pieces of evidence thrown out. At issue, tactics made by police to arrest Mangione, who was found days after the killing at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. More from ABC's Aaron Katursky outside court.
The guy who installed the security cameras at the McDonald's is on the witness stand talking about what the footage depicts and the angles. All of this is to set up, I think, that this is, in fact, Mangione, as prosecutors see it, as defense attorneys are about to question why officers approached him and whether they acted appropriately when they made the arrest, when they searched him and questioned him.
U.S. Supreme Court hearing a case related to online piracy and whether it's illegal for internet service providers to patrol who puts what online. We get more from ABC's Devin Dwyer, who says Sony Music is suing Cox, one of the largest broadband companies in the U.S.
Every day, billions of people illegally stream or download copyrighted material like music, movies, or TV shows. The key question before the Supreme Court is, are internet companies complicit in those copyright infringements simply by giving online pirates access to the web?
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we've got the usual buildup now going northbound 65 up to the South Loop, and then eastbound 24, you're coming to a complete stop once you get past I-440, eastbound 440, brake tapping over to eastbound 24. And then looking over here west of downtown, if you are eastbound 40 to go northbound on the North Loop, expect stop-and-go traffic there. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, man, oh man. There is a lot going on this Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. It's the first day of December. We got some snow perhaps coming a little bit later on into the 7th Congressional District and the rest of the state of Tennessee, or at least the northern portions of the state of Tennessee. We'll continue to keep you up to date on all of that. That rain/snow should be here a little bit later on. And, hey, Ken Weaver, you know what they say? They say that it's colder on the plateau.
Definitely over there on the plateau.
So you're thinking some snowfall on the plateau, Ken?
There could be. But right now it looks like it's more likely going to be north of 40 and west of 65.
All right, so
any significant accumulation is going to be along the Kentucky border and in Kentucky.
So if you're listening to us in Montgomery County, in Clarksville,
yes, sir,
and you're planning on voting tomorrow, maybe vote at lunch.
Yeah.
Give it a little time for the because there might be a little, as they call it, black ice tomorrow morning. That's the fear, right?
Could be.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Just be careful out there. You know, it'll be there when you get there. Take it slow. So we're covering the 7th Congressional District race as best we can in the final hours of it. I had Joe Gruters on last hour, the chair of the Republican National Committee, who's in the state today. We had Mike Johnson on last week, Speaker of the House, and we're pleased to have him on. I had Jackson, I had you working on Trump, and so you just let me know if Trump calls, we'll take it. Just let him know that we'll take his call at any point that he calls, because I know I had you working on him.
Yeah, I'm right on that.
You're on top of it?
Yep.
Yeah. Good for you, Jackson.
His people and my people are talking.
Y'all close? Not so much. Okay, very good. Jackson, I feel like you're a little late on the pithy retorts today, and I feel that like this weekend might have had something to do with that. But enough about that for a minute. We're going to welcome our guest, who is astute in the ways of politics. And I saw a post that she offered on social media, and I invited her on to give us her analysis, because I've heard a lot of national pundits describe this race in ridiculous ways. At first I'm mad at the TV and I'm pointing my finger at CNN or CBS or NBC or even Fox News, how they're characterizing this political dynamic in the 7th District. And then I'm realizing, well, they just don't know any better. Let's find somebody that does and have her on. Alice Rowley joins us. I mean, she understands politics, Tennessee politics, like the back of her hand, and she's a good friend of the show. Welcome in.
And I am also a 7th Congressional District voter.
Oh.
So glad to be here.
Did you vote early?
No, I'm voting tomorrow because I wanted to keep getting all the pieces of mail and not be taken out. I brought in my show and tell for the show. I just wanted
this
to
is
keep,
your camera
keep getting it.
when you're ready to show. When you're ready to show, just show that camera right behind my right shoulder. Welcome in. It's good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
What do you think about this race?
Well, I think from listening to what you've been talking about and others, I think it's probably an 8 or 9 point race. But that Matt Van Epps, who I will be voting for tomorrow morning at my polling place at Morrell School, will win.
What do you make of the? I mean, was it always to be expected that this was going to get the national attention that it's getting? I mean, it's the only game in town.
Yeah.
The razor-thin majority. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the Democrats are going to throw some money at this.
Throw some money at it, and I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, dropping out, knowing that seat's going to be empty for 4 months, I think all of those things play into it.
What do you make of Matt Van Epps? You've met him. Mm-hmm. We were talking just before the break. I've had the opportunity to meet him, to interview him. He seems like a good man. He's got a service heart.
Yep.
He is not as outgoing or gregarious as your typical political figure. I think that, in a way that's to his credit and not to his detriment.
Yeah.
That he is just kind of laser focused on the issues and not that interested in making it about himself. We claim that that's what we want in a candidate, yet we get down to the 11th hour, and I have some people complaining that that's what we have in our candidate. But, I mean, I think it's to his benefit. What do you make of him?
Well, I mean, my husband also went to West Point, and so I know, I think people of tremendous character graduate from that institution. You have a choice at the end of your second year at the academy to stay or to go. You have a choice to walk away at the end of the second year and to know that you owe the United States government nothing, or you have a choice to stay in and graduate and serve for at least 5 years. And I think that Matt served for maybe 10. My husband served for 20. And so I already have a predisposition to like people who graduate from West Point. So I'll say that up front. But you're right. It's hard. Look, to be a candidate, no one is ever happy. You are a little bit like where Matt is now. He's a little bit like the only person in a beauty pageant. And he's standing up there alone, and the Republicans can only choose from him rationally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of go, well, I wish he was a little bit more of this. I wish he was a little more of that. I wish he was a little more of this. But that's who we chose as our nominee. He wasn't my first choice. I liked Mason Foley, which I know you had Mason on the show.
I did.
I
like
thought Mason
a
had
lot.
great energy, but he is who I'm going to vote for tomorrow. And I think that, to your point, when you're the only beauty contestant up there at this point, people kind of find lots of reasons to not like you.
Well, and even at the local level, we pointed out on the national front quite often, but on the local level, the media plays these little games with how they hold one standard for the Republicans versus a different standard for the Democrat candidate. And I would say, I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. As soon as Matt Van Epps won, with 9, 10 candidates in the race.
One more than 50% of the vote.
One more
impressive.
Very impressive. The local media immediately went to all of the rest. I mean, I'm sure Mason got asked. I don't know. I haven't asked him directly, but I know Jody Barrett did, and Lee Reeves did, and Gino Bolso did. All of the rest of who are you voting for? Are you endorsing? They were, and I do believe that it is designed to create a schism within the Republican Party. In the meantime, it occurred to me over the Thanksgiving holiday, I have not seen a single Democrat that was in the race against Afton endorse her. Now, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, because maybe we might be being fed a different algorithm.
Maybe
we just
so.
don't know.
Point being is that I don't know that many Democrats are necessarily that pleased locally with their candidate choice either.
Yeah.
But she is their choice, and she is certainly. I think fairly described as a radical. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, and I am, and I think an important question, one that you just brought up, is where is the media on fact-checking her claims, right? And so I obviously, my day job is to run the Children's Hospital Alliance of Tennessee, and I spend a lot of time looking at how legislators vote. And I have looked at Representative Bain's position running for Congress, and one thing she says is her support for rural hospitals. Last year, we had a bill. We supported it, the children's hospitals, and so did all of the rural hospitals. And she voted against it. That's House Bill 979, carried by Representative Williams and Senator Bailey, both rural representatives. That passed in the Senate 31-0. That would allow our rural and our children's hospitals to directly employ certain kinds of physicians, which I know you'd think, like, this is crazy. Why can't they already do it? We're not going to get into that. But this was a bill brought by Cookeville Regional, a rural hospital, saying we need help and we need this bill as a vehicle to get that help. And we, the children's hospitals, also supported that. 31-0 passes the Senate. Not a,
no controversy.
79-10 in the House. And who is one of the no votes?
Afton
Representative Bain. Yeah. And so to say on your website, I support rural hospitals and rural health care, and then to vote against a bill 79-10. So that means, all the rural Democrats voted for this.
Sure.
And that
so
seems
you had,
out of touch.
was there 20-something? So you had
25. Yeah.
So you had multiple Democrats voting in favor of a bill that Afton Bain did not support.
That
Yet
the rural hospitals
around.
are 100% for. Rural hospitals were all for this bill. Rural hospitals and children's hospitals. Oh, you can keep it. I'll bring it for you. Party favor. You know me. I always bring the receipts, as the young say. I bring the receipts.
0979. See, if Afton would come on the show, I would love to ask her, why did she vote against 0979? I bet she doesn't remember it.
Probably not. No. No, and I've got some other bills in here if you want to talk about it.
We will. We will. No, I want it. So I want
That's too nerdy. Everybody wants to talk about other stuff.
Well, before we get into that, I do want to address your post.
Yes.
And you want to talk about these issues,
right.
and I applaud that.
Hold someone accountable for their votes as an elected official, which we uniquely have the opportunity to do. If you say you're going to represent people or fight for a certain issue, then let's hold you accountable to how did you fight and represent those people and those interests as you've been an elected official.
So do you feel like there's been too much focus on the fact that she's a female?
I think so. Yeah, and I think the framing of, the hysterical woman, we don't like your boobs in this picture, and I'm allowed to say boobs, you can't. I get that.
Oh no, I believe in free speech and boobs. Come on, Alice. Come on.
What am I doing?
No, I said. What did I tell you before?
Yes,
I
you
said
did. You haven't brought it up.
I said. I said I'm more concerned that she is a boob, not that she has boobs.
That's fair. Yeah, but this, I do think that so many people, so many persuadable voters who ultimately are the votes that Republicans need, and we need to have a bigger tent and we need to have an ideas-oriented tent, are put off when it looks like we can't have a rational discussion around her vote on multiple things, which I'm happy to talk through. That actually, I think some people who are center left would say, that's weird that she voted that way. Doesn't sound like she represents my interests. And I think that could get us further, though I understand that people like to create ad hominem attacks against people and they want to do that. That's just not my style.
I think a lot of that goes on when men are running in politics, but we don't notice quite as much. I mean, I think a lot of personal attacks happen in politics, period, right?
Sure.
I mean, and I'm as guilty as anybody of engaging in it. I don't care that Afton Bain's a female. I encourage more females to run for political office. I think that's great. It bothers me that she's a radical and she gets away with lying to the people of the 7th Congressional District in the way that she does, because there aren't people, she picks and chooses. She would come on our show until the time where it came to ask her some nuts and bolts questions about the 7th Congressional District, and now she's disappeared on us because she doesn't want to answer those questions. She doesn't want to get into. I don't think she really understands, outside of Nashville and maybe a little bit of Clarksville, some of these urban areas in the district. There aren't many. I don't think she understands the 7th Congressional District.
Well, even on the urban front, I will bring up another bill she voted against: the creation of the East Bank Development Authority, which is transformational. This was Senate Bill 2968, carried by Senator Campbell, and House Bill 2984. This was brought by
Campbell, as in Heidi Campbell?
Yeah. And this was brought, so Nashville reps brought this.
Right.
This was brought by Metro City Council, by the mayor's office, saying we need this vehicle to enable us to develop the East Bank. So meaning you have a majority of Metro City Council members voting for it, which, there you go. If you're saying I'm representing my people, those are her people.
Yeah.
And she voted one of the 3 present not voting. Couldn't even vote for it or against it. Voted present not voting on a very important to her district urban issue where her own elected officials, her own city council people are voting for it. Her own colleagues are voting for it. And I don't know. I don't know where the performative boogeyman was that we needed. So I don't know if she understands the urban areas of her district either.
So a couple of things to unpack there. One, I have a deep-seated, uncontrollable anger that grows inside of me when an elected official is present for a vote and they abstain or they don't vote.
Yeah.
It is uncontrollable. It is almost to the point of irrational, because what do we elect you for but to make hard decisions? And you're telling me that you have an inability to make a hard decision, yes or no, unless there is a real and compelling reason why you are present in the chamber and cannot vote for something. Perhaps you're compromised or whatever.
There's one person in the present not voting that I would give that to, and that was Representative Jernigan. He voted present not voting, but he had just taken the position with Metro City Council, and so he abstained for that reason because he was representing the city of Nashville, but he was also voting as a state representative, so he took that position, and I respect that. With that explanation, actually, in the record,
and good for him for offering that explanation, because that gives you, that's an obvious pass if there's a conflict or whatever. But if there's no conflict, if you can't figure it out, then you don't need to be in the position that you're in.
Yeah, especially when the overwhelming majority of the city council people in your
Well, and that's
your
the second,
county.
and that's the second piece,
I
right?
got a second one.
And
Yeah, I got another one too.
No, but the second piece is on this bill is how. So you claim that you're all about. I mean, well, you're not all about Nashville. I mean, obviously you hate country music. I mean that's surface level stuff.
That's surface level. This is
but
your vote.
That's real.
This is your vote. This is your vote.
I mean,
you can keep that.
And that's look.
You
look
can
at
keep that.
with the
You can keep
receipts.
that with the receipts. With the receipts.
So I want to get back into this in a minute because for those who are maybe not on board with Donald Trump, but they're not quite on board with the radicals in the Democrat Party. This is your sign that Afton Bain,
not ready for
Afton
prime
Bain's
time.
just not ready.
Not ready.
Because if you're predispositioned to agree with more left of center politics, like Freddie O'Connell agrees with, like the Nashville Metro Council agrees with, the East Bank was widely agreed upon by that group of people.
Yeah.
Brought by Heidi Campbell.
And if you're for local control, that is what the locals asked for.
And Afton Bain can't manage to vote for it.
No.
23 after the hour, Alice Rowley is with us for the better part of the hour. You can be with us as well, 615-737-9986, getting into the nuts and bolts. You won't get this on the national media networks, I promise you. The nuts and bolts of this political election that's happening tomorrow. It's the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk about my friends at the Glock Store. You know, last weekend was their incredible, huge Black Friday, Super Saturday event. It was rocking. I only wish I could have been there. I mean, I was out of town, but, man, a lot of people want a lot of great stuff. But what did you expect? I mean, it's a Glock Store event. But now that Thanksgiving's over, we got to start thinking about Christmas time. And what says Christmas more than a family photo with Santa Claus at the Glock Store? How about that? What could be more Tennessee than a family photo with Santa Claus as Tactical Santa? That's right. Backed by popular demand, Tactical Santa will be visiting the Glock Store and available for your holiday photos December 5, 6, 12, and 13. That's right. 4 separate opportunities for you to visit with Tactical Santa. He's not too busy this time of year to see you. It's just $25. It gets you a professional family portrait by Glock Store's in-house photographer. And, of course, your pets are always welcome. Get the most unique holiday photo memory ever with the Glock Store's Tactical Santa. And, yes, appropriate props are encouraged and available. Tactical Santa this weekend and next, only at the Glock Store. Minutes away from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere, glockstore.com or shoot270.com.
Tomorrow is Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, a special election. We'll let you hear some of what Democrat Afton Bain responded to some CNN questions about undocumented immigrants. We'll tell you about that at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy, Alice Rowley. We've only a couple of minutes before Ken will deliver that newscast to you, and Alice and I will sit around for another segment and break down the election that is tomorrow between Matt Van Epps and Afton Bain, the Congressional District 7 election. And I know many of you will be pleased that you'll no longer have all of these advertisements during the football games. You get one, Afton is the most horrible person on the face of the earth, and you get the other, that Matt Van Epps is the most horrible person on the face of the earth, then you get the other one, that Matt Van Epps is an angel from heaven, then you get the fourth one, that Afton Bain is actually the angel from heaven. It's very confusing to people that aren't paying attention. That's why you're here.
That's why we're here.
Is to break all of this down.
To help voters be more informed.
Mm-hmm. So you were breaking down 2968 and this bill that would develop the East Bank Development Authority.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of broke it down that, one, if you're not voting and you're there and you don't offer a legitimate reason, I mean, I just can't understand why in the world you're there. Number two, it would seem that this would be a no-brainer for someone like Afton Bain, and I'd be very curious as to why she decided not to vote for it. But she did. She says she's for rural hospitals. I heard her on #NeverCNN, and then that's what I call CNN. Don't watch CNN; it's garbage, people. But then she votes against a bill that was brought by
rural hospitals.
Hospitals.
Yeah. So. Yeah, rural hospitals and children's hospitals so that we could directly employ. And you can look at the votes, 30-0 in the Senate, only, I think, 15 no votes in the House. And doesn't make sense if you're for rural hospitals.
Yeah, 16 total, 10 no's and 6 present not voting, which I don't understand that either. But I guess that's Democrats not wanting to vote for something that Republicans are universally in favor of. You've got another.
I do.
Well, let's break it down right after the news.
Okay.
All right. Alice Rowley's with us. We got news coming up with Ken Weaver right now, and Alice will continue to break down some of the voting patterns of Representative Afton Bain next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, looking at the potential for a wintry mix. Talking about rain, sleet, and snow in Middle Tennessee overnight and tomorrow morning. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Tomorrow's Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, a special election. CNN asked Democrat Afton Bain if she thinks undocumented immigrants crossing the U.S. border should be decriminalized.
That's not an issue that I've heard from voters about in the district. The issues of cheaper groceries, cheaper utilities, making sure that they have a healthcare facility close to their home is what they are thinking about in the 7th District. That hasn't been an issue that's come up.
She didn't answer the question. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Pramila Jayapal, and former Vice President Al Gore are expected to rally for Bain virtually, while Republican Matt Van Epps has boots on the ground in Tennessee today. President Trump called Speaker Mike Johnson, who was in Franklin this morning. Johnson put Trump on speaker.
Matt Van Epps, he's a winner. He's going to be great. Don't let this stuff fool you. The Democrats are spending a fortune, and we don't want people that want to raise your taxes. He wants to raise your taxes on top of everything else.
Reports say voter turnout could be the deciding factor in this race because the district leans Republican, but there is at least one poll that's claiming it's within the margin of error. Luigi Mangione, the man accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, in court today for a pretrial hearing, whereas attorneys are trying to get some pieces of evidence thrown out. At issue are tactics made by police to arrest Mangione, who was found days after the murder at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. We get more from ABC's Aaron Katursky outside court.
The prosecutors are calling a number of witnesses. By some counts, they have more than 24 witnesses to call to firmly establish Mangione as the suspected shooter. And the defense has a couple of witnesses as well, as they try to argue that he was inappropriately searched and questioned to try to get some of that key evidence thrown out. This could be just the first day of a days-long hearing.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, that brake tapping is getting more frequent. In fact, it's coming to complete stops. If you are eastbound 440 over to 24, that continues eastbound on 24 from 440. East and westbound 40 on the South Loop, stop and go traffic. Same goes for both directions over on the East Loop. And then you've got brake tapping up to the northern split on the North Loop. Got a crash reported 65 northbound just past Trinity Lane at exit 87. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, friends, Matt Murphy, Alpha and Omega is not new to the industry of computer consultation. As a matter of fact, Michael and his team started back in 1998. Now, you can imagine, just think about the ways that computers have changed from 1998 to 2025. Well, obviously, your IT has changed as well. And if you're a business owner, there might have been a time where a computer was just a nice to have, but now it is a must have in your operation. And computer technology and everything that goes with it has advanced, frankly, beyond your ability to control it. Cybersecurity threats exist every single day. Ransomware attacks happen every single day. 14 successful ransomware attacks happen every day. And if you're a business owner, you're at a threat. So what do? Well, you call Michael and his team and allow them to take over all of your IT. They will cover you comprehensively with everything that you need. Emergency services always available, 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week service. You'll always get someone in the state of Tennessee. You'll never get an IT bot, and you don't get someone out of country. They take care of it. Anything IT related, they get it done. ANO.net. That's ANO.net to find out more, or 615-784-0096. 784-0096 for Alpha and Omega. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. During the break, it's really unfortunate that we had that break there. It's 38 minutes after the hour. My name is Matt Murphy. Alice Rowley is with us. Alice ran for mayor of the city of Nashville this last election cycle. And during that break, while you guys weren't listening, we solved all of Nashville's problems.
Pretty much.
I mean, and it's unfortunate that I can't really remember any of those solutions, but they were good ones. They were really good ones. In the meantime, we're discussing the 7th Congressional District race. I want to get to your
with a real voter. I'm right here.
That's right.
Real voter.
And you
voting
haven't voted
tomorrow.
yet.
Morale
I'm a little nervous about that. I'm a little nervous that a lot of Republicans have waited, and now the only thing that worries me about this election, I think I understand the 7th Congressional District.
Yeah.
I think you do too.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me is turnout.
Yes.
And the fact that the left tends to vote early.
Mm-hmm.
They get out early, and our guys, we've kind of moved the needle a little bit on election day voting since 2020, but we still tend to get out
on
late
election day. I think I did
election
4 points better on election day than early voting. So
so we need the people to get out tomorrow.
Get out tomorrow. If you voted for Alice Rowley in Davidson County, we need you to vote tomorrow for Matt.
I mean, is that the only concern that you have?
Turnout?
Yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, because I just clearly feel like the district more supports policies that will be championed by a Matt Van Epps than an Afton Bain, who seems to believe that doubling down on her liberal bona fides is the way to she seems to be playing this, if I give her any credit at all, and I don't know that her people know what they're doing, but if I gave them credit for a strategy, I would think that their strategy is to increase turnout with her base, because she does not seem to try to appeal to the middle at all.
Well, no, I think saying you're for rural hospitals sounds like you're appealing to the middle of a county that has 14. I mean, of a district that has 14 counties, and 12 of them we would characterize as rural.
Yeah.
But the receipts would say that you don't support when you voted against the rural hospitals' number one priority in this legislative session. So I think that is the uninformed voter will just take she's for rural hospitals, but not sort of say, well, how'd she vote last session? Did she vote with the rural hospitals or against the hospitals?
That would involve some of these national networks that she's exclusively doing interviews with now, actually doing a little bit of homework instead of just they're just fluffing her. I mean, they're just.
Yeah. Well, and I think, people are taking this, I'm, mom of 2 boys, and I think a lot of women hear this, women can't be, in elected office or in a public policy position and have children, or can't be, some of these quotes around that, which I think is hard for people to hear in this day and age. Or the statement that the Christian prayers at the beginning of the legislative session make her uncomfortable. I would just point out that when they did that teletown hall with Jasmine Crockett, that was in the district, a block from my house, and that was held at a church. Mm-hmm. So which one is it? Are we going to church to talk about politics, or are we not?
She went over to Dixon, and she claimed to me, she was in Dixon not this past weekend, but weekend before last, and she posted a photo of herself in a church. It was an African-American church in Dixon, and she had told me the day before that she had pneumonia. And, I have the receipt, right? I have the text exchange where I said, why aren't you, and she said, I've got pneumonia. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and I asked her the day after she posted that, I was like, are you over your sickness? No, I'm still in the middle of it. I'm like, why in the hell are you at a church?
Yeah, infecting elderly
potentially
congregants.
Infecting people if you've got pneumonia, but whatever. She does try to have it both ways depending on the audience that she might be talking to. I think that's fair. What's the third item that you got?
Oh, well, I didn't dig too deep, Matt. I just looked at bills that we supported last session and just asked, like, would you, how did she vote? So this one, most of your listeners did not think that we were going to talk about congenital syphilis, but we're going to talk about that now.
Okay. All right.
We have seen in the children's hospitals a 400% increase in babies born with congenital syphilis that is totally preventable. It is completely preventable. And it is a very dangerous disease. And so last session, the administration brought a bill, which we supported, to increase testing of women at birth and at one other time in their pregnancy, to try, if you found out that you had syphilis, to treat it. It's not a hard thing to treat. It's totally treatable. And then you don't pass it to your baby. And what mother wouldn't, when they find out they've got that, just immediately treat that, right? You don't want your baby born with this. She voted against that. But again, this is 30-0. This passed in the Senate, not a rogue bill. And there were 12 no's. And so to say that you are for women's health and that you are for increasing access or availability to protect children, there is not a children's hospital in this state that would say this is a very common sense solution.
What's the bill again? I mean, just give me the synopsis.
That was so synopsis is that current state law was that you get tested between 8 and 12 weeks when you're pregnant for syphilis.
Okay.
Find out, you get treated.
Right.
What we were finding is that there's a big increase in people born, meaning they tested negative then, but somewhere in their pregnancy they got it.
Right.
Their partner might have brought it, whatever way. So this bill just said you get tested at 28 to 30 weeks, where we could still treat you and safely baby can be delivered, or at delivery, so we can immediately start treating the baby, because it does mask congenital syphilis as a lot of other diseases in very young babies. And so the sooner we know, the sooner we can start treating and help the baby. This was voted against. It had no cost. These are blood tests that are already done at the state lab. Not, when people say, well, Alice, it's about informed consent. Well, if you are a mom and you're informed that you have this, most mothers would consent to then be treated. It's just kind of a rational. This was 79-12, so she was one of the no votes. 30-0.
I love you handing these over to me.
I'm just picking some votes that are. I think if you're for moms, babies, if you're for your urban neighborhood, if you're for rural hospitals, these are all positions that I think you should sort of say, like, what was I thinking?
Jody Barrett voted against it too. How about that? Anyway, Afton Bain is a no vote, and I mean, I would love to hear her rationale. I mean, because I thought she was for women's health.
That's a pretty pro women's health. Again, 30-0 in the Senate. A lot of moms in the Senate. A lot of senators who are Democrats who voted for that.
Feels like Afton. I don't want to put a motivation behind some of these no votes, but it feels like from time to time that some of these folks in the House are just voting no just because all of the Republicans or most of the Republicans are voting yes. That's what it. I mean,
well, when it passes 30-0 in the Senate first, and then it comes over to the House, they can usually kind of look at their.
Yeah, you would think. I mean,
I know, but Matt, I think for listeners, and I know you brought me on because my social media post. Is I believe we should hold, if someone is running for office, we should look at how they vote and how they have voted in the office that they're holding. I don't think that taking clips and things in context, out of context, when they were, her job was being a protester. She was a full-time protester, and sort of taking, hey, she's a protester, right? But take her like immediate job. She is a state representative, and look at her votes.
Well, and I would agree with that. And had she agreed to come on the show again, I'm not asking her about, I hate Nashville, I hate pedal taverns. I don't give a crap about that. What I do care about is, do you still believe in abolishing police departments? Mm-hmm. Because you get to...
she didn't answer that question.
You get to run... you get to, I mean, that sounds great when you're an agitator, when you're a protester.
Yeah.
And that's all fine and good when District 51 votes for you because they're probably anti-police too.
Yeah.
But when you're running for the 7th Congressional District, when you're in a seat of that level of power, these things matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when when you're asked about this on a friendly interview on MSNBC... And then you're told, and you say, well, I'm not going to get into cable news talking points. No, this is a precise question about your position on abolishing the police department. Mm-hmm. And she won't answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. A lot of folks are suggesting that her position on this issue with children, I mean, is consistent with her statement that she doesn't like kids or she doesn't want to have kids. She wants power, which it was also a very odd statement for her.
Odd statement. Yeah, I think that is an odd statement if you're trying to serve people. And the last the last swing voting demographic in America are parents, and so I think thinking through how parents view you and your decision making is probably important.
1413 writes, "Is there a way we can look up this information on our own to make a website? Our own." Is there a website available to the public? I bet you got these from the legislative website.
Yeah. I just printed those off. Those are all, if you go to the Tennessee legislative website. And I just picked top 3 of bill. I was so surprised when I went through them. But you can go. The Tennessee legislature has a great, easily searchable website on all votes.
www.tn.gov. That's tn.gov, which will take you directly to the General Assembly. And you can type in, and I'll give you the numbers on these 3. House Bill 0111. House Bill 0111. That is the
pregnancy screening.
The pregnancy screening.
Yeah, syphilis.
Thank you.
We're trying to avoid babies born with syphilis. It's not a hard concept.
HB 0979 was the rural hospital bill. 0979.
Yep, Senator Bailey. It was a good bill.
And then Senator Heidi Campbell, Democrat, presented 2968, which was the East Bank Development Authority. And that's Senate Bill 2968, presented by Heidi Campbell. So you can look those up on your own. And those are just 3 issue-oriented bills that clearly demonstrate that, there's not a lot of vetting going on with Afton right now in terms of giving the voters some information that they need. And look, I appreciate the focus on what she did in the aftermath of ICE. I mean, I think that matters too.
Yep, that does. Yep.
But,
and those are actions as an elected official.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think any actions as an elected official sort of post-election are, votes, how you comport yourself, how you interact with other branches of government. I think those are all fair game.
So this is what I'm getting mostly on the super text line right now. Just a couple of examples. 6508. Oh, how I wish Alice was the mayor of Nashville. Jason, Alice was such a wonderful candidate. 0882. Alice would have been such a great mayor. I so agree with many of these sentiments. 5100 writes in and says, your interview with Alice Rowley highlights how incompetent Van Epps truly is. They should have been screaming from the rooftops her voting record and what it has been. Well, I mean, I think they're trying to get the message out there.
Yeah, it's hard. And to be fair, if you were never asked those questions, and that is why I think the media is so important. Every candidate, I encourage them to come on your show. Every person who says, well, look at what they did to this candidate or this candidate, I'm like, get in there. Matt Murphy will give you a fair shot.
Yep.
Ask the questions, be prepared, bring receipts. I think if you are going to run for a position of public trust, you have to be able to answer the questions asked, even if the answer is, I don't know.
Which is, in some cases, a fair answer.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'll find out.
Yeah.
It was the most important thing that I learned even as a talk show host, that if I was asked a question that I didn't know the answer to, it was perfectly permissible to say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to go and I'm going to find out and I'm going to get you the answer.
Yeah.
And that is such a worthy, and candidates are petrified of that answer. And I think it's such a valuable answer to have in your arsenal because it's truth.
Yeah.
And people want authenticity. Now, and everybody that knows me, by the way, and knows my interview style, y'all know that I roughed Alice up during her campaign. I mean, it was a rough and tumble several interviews, right?
Yes.
No,
I think you were pretty nice. Yeah. I did leave Michael Patrick Leahy's first show, and I think I might have cried on my floor, but I stayed in the race because other people dropped out after they went on his show.
Why was Leahy so mean?
No, it's just it's fine. You gotta be ready. Yeah. He brought up my dad from 20 years ago and something that happened, and I just thought, like, what am I doing? I'm down on the wrong, and it's fine. You have to learn how to answer hard questions.
You had the benefit that Matt Murphy was only here for a couple of years, so there's no way I'm bringing up Lamar Alexander Or
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, he had run. Yeah, he had run the Beat Lamar. He had run the Beat Lamar stuff, so he needed to like rehash some Beat Lamar time. And
it's like people say, I hate Bill Lee because of 2020. I was like, well, luckily I wasn't here in 2020, so I don't really remember any of that.
Yeah.
And any final thoughts?
No,
the race tomorrow?
No. I mean, tomorrow is about turnout, so let's turn out. Let's go vote. And I think it is about who is ready to represent the 7th congressional district in a way that that we can be proud of. And I think that person is Matt Van Epps.
Alice, thank you for your time, and thank you for bringing the receipts, and thank you for giving them to me.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
You're doing the homework for me. There's Alice Rowley, our good friend. We'll be back with telephone calls coming up in a moment, and a third-party candidate has asked for equal time, and we're granting it. Terry Christie will be here in the 5 o'clock hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So it's raining and it's getting cold and it's going to get colder, and by now you've probably turned the heater on. Have you gotten the maintenance done yet? Still time to get it done with efficient heating and cooling. These cold snaps are coming with more regularity. Your heating unit is going to be running with more regularity, and if it's caught you off guard, now's the time to get the winter maintenance scheduled. It's the best way to head off costly repairs and breakdowns during the winter season. Plus, you get the maintenance guarantee, which is nice. Jeff Eddy offers this. So if you get the maintenance done on your unit, if for any reason that unit goes kaplooey, or if it's just not running like it should, you call and they'll waive the service charge with efficient heating and cooling. That's their promise to you. So you shouldn't have to pay twice for that sort of thing. And if you find yourself in need of a new unit, there's always an opportunity with efficient heating and cooling. They're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can help you out in that regard. Give them a call at 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or efficienthvac.net.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We are tracking the potential for a wintry mix in Middle Tennessee. This is expected to be around 9 o'clock until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Some of that could be snow, sleet, and rain all mixed together. We'll tell you all about it during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Tomorrow's Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, a special election. CNN asked Democrat Afton Bain if more money for cops is good or bad.
I think it depends on what the community wants. And so I've worked with communities, at least my constituents, want to ensure that there is investment in their community for community safety, community protection, mental health services. And that's what I'm hearing from at least my constituents.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Premier Jayapal, and former Vice President Al Gore expected to rally for Bain today, virtually. But Republican Matt Van Epps has boots on the ground in Tennessee. President Trump called Speaker Mike Johnson, who was in Franklin this morning. Johnson put Trump on speaker.
I just want to give my total support, and he's had it right from the beginning, to Matt Van Epps. He's going to be a fantastic congressman. He's going to represent you so well, and we'll keep our agenda going.
Reports say voter turnout could be the deciding factor in this race because the district leans Republican, but some polling shows it within the margin of error. Luigi Mangione back in a Manhattan courtroom for a critical pretrial hearing.
The high-stakes hearing comes nearly a year after prosecutors say Mangione gunned down the CEO of United Healthcare on a Midtown Manhattan sidewalk. His defense attorneys are trying to convince the judge to prohibit prosecutors from using key evidence at trial, including the alleged murder weapon and writings that prosecutors say lay out Mangione's motive for the brazen murder. They argue the evidence was seized illegally without a warrant when Mangione was arrested after a 5-day manhunt last December. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, New York.
A new study from the journal Pediatrics takes a look at the effect of cell phones on young people, and the results, some say, are troubling. Here's ABC's Mike Dubusky.
Depression, obesity, and insufficient sleep are among the negative effects experienced by kids who were given cell phones before age 12, according to the Adolescent Brain Cognitive Development Study, which surveyed more than 10,000 children, making it the largest study of its kind in the U.S. to date. However, it didn't establish a cause and effect relationship between early cell phone use and negative health outcomes, just that they're correlated. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, drivers. Still got that brake tapping going on, and it is increasing. Eastbound 440 over to 24. It's coming to complete stops there at times between 65 and Nolensville Pike. Northbound 65, complete stop, brake tapping. That's between 440 and the South Loop. And then if you are on the South Loop going eastbound, you've got the same thing there before 65. I'm seeing some really backed up traffic westbound 440 to get up to 40. Looks like that might be due to a crash. 40 westbound at Church Street. Actually, that's going to be over here on the South Loop. Then in Murfreesboro, we've got that crash reported. 840 westbound near Sulphur Springs Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well this Monday, December 1, first day of the month, first day of the week, first day of the Christmas holiday official. I don't start celebrating until after the Thanksgiving holiday, and I hope that you feel the same way. One way or the other, we thank you for being around with us. Happy holiday season. We appreciate you. It's also election season as we have this special election that we've been talking much about over the last several weeks. Really, you and I began discussing this before most anybody. And now that the national media is in on it, they're grabbing all of the headlines. They're grabbing all of the candidates. They think they know what they're talking about. And I say they know precious little about what's going on in the 7th Congressional District. But, you know, for what it's worth, we appreciate them coming in and drawing attention to the state of Tennessee. And I do believe, as was mentioned by one of our previous guests, Joe Gruters, who is the chair of the Republican National Committee, that there will be a line in the sand drawn. He called it the red line, and I believe that will happen tomorrow. Be that as it may, there are other candidates in the race beyond Matt Van Epps and Afton Bain. We've had one independent candidate on in the past, John Thorpe, and I missed Terry Christie and her involvement in the race, and I apologize for that. And she called me and said, "Hey, you know what's up? Let's get some of these third-party folks on so that they can talk about their position on the political race." And we have done just that. She asked if she could have some time on the show, and we are certainly appreciative of it. And so we give it at 8 minutes past 5. It's time to welcome Terry Christie to the program. Hey, Terry.
Hi, Matt.
Should I call you Captain Terry?
You can just call me Terry. That's fine.
So talk to me about why you are Captain Terry. For those who don't know, I mean, you're known as Captain Terry around these parts. Why so?
I'm a ship's captain. I actually started out as a midlife crisis job cooking on towboats on the Mississippi River.
Uh-huh.
And I was told right away that certainly was not my typical career path.
Right.
But it was a great midlife crisis job. I was told right away how women aren't allowed to be captains, and I just kind of said, "Hold my sweet tea." And so there you have it.
How long did it take you?
2.5 years.
That's not bad.
That's probably a record.
Right. And are you still doing that, or have you hung up the captain's hat?
Oh, no, I'm still doing it. As a matter of fact, I've been doing the history tours right here on the Cumberland River in Nashville. I injured my back in the Gulf on a crew boat.
Okay.
So I haven't been out it's pretty rough. The waters are really rough in the Gulf, and if you got a back injury, it's not the best place to be.
Well, it's good to have you on. It's good to have you in. I mean, obviously, you and I have had an opportunity to speak off air, and for those who don't know about your candidacy, tell everyone, you know, kind of your background story, and why you decided to run in the 7th Congressional District.
Well, the minute I saw that they had manipulated the election timing to coincide with holiday time, it was obvious to me that it was just a coronation for Matt Van Epps to walk into his buddy's seat, Mark Green's. And I thought that was wholly inappropriate. Looking into him, I discovered that he was from a well-connected, wealthy family in Ohio and went to West Point, which is laudable. But I don't think most people understand that to get into West Point, you're usually recommended by a member of Congress to be able to attend. It's not something the average person in District 7 could ever do. And then I looked into what he majored in, and he majored in poli-sci, and it looks like just another coronation. And I believe representatives should represent the people that they're sent to represent instead of just another career politician.
So you're knocking Matt Van Epps for getting into West Point?
That's not what I said. I said was that you have to
that's why I asked for a clarification.
To get into West Point. People who graduate from West Point are typically very well politically connected and come from politically connected families. And our representatives should be representative of the people they serve, not some rhino from Ohio.
Okay, so once again, what does this have to do with Matt Van Epps being at West Point? I mean,
I mentioned that he majored in poli-sci, which is political science.
I mean, he also served his country, right?
Many have.
Right. I mean,
many. We have many veterans.
He put in the service. I just don't understand what him going to West Point has anything to do with you claiming he's a rhino from Ohio.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't see what it has anything to do with him being representative of the people of District 7.
So you don't think his military service has anything to do with service to the country?
No, it has. His going to West Point has nothing to do with him being representative of the people of District 7.
I mean, I know people that have gotten into West Point that don't really have any political connections. They fill out an application.
Oh, I'm sure there are some that do.
Yeah, but you just said that most don't.
Most don't. And most are politically connected.
And do you know if Matt Van Epps was politically connected, or are you just making an assumption, Terry?
Well, I'm assuming his wealthy, politically connected family would give him political connections, but you'd have to ask him that.
No, I'm asking you that. You brought it up.
Well, I just told you what I thought.
So you
and I knew that I was walking into the lion's den here because
I'm just surprised that your first your opportunity to present yourself. I asked you about yourself, and you brought up the fact that you didn't think it was a big deal that Matt Van Epps went to West Point. That you brought that up. I didn't bring that up.
That's part of introducing myself because that's the difference between me and him and Afton Ben.
Tell me about your military service.
I didn't serve in the military.
Okay. So that's the end of that question.
It is.
But you're kind of, I mean, it kind of comes off like you're knocking Matt Van Epps.
Well, you know, there was a forum in Clarksville.
I mean,
a political forum in Clarksville. Matt Van Epps did not show up. It was on television up there locally. He's not shown up to answer to people. He just comes into, I'll walk right into the lion's den right, like I am right here with you right now.
Terry, let's start over. I don't have anything against you. And I don't have anything against your candidacy. And you're welcome to feel otherwise. But
well, I heard you on the radio earlier saying that you had to vote for Matt Van Epps or you were voting for Afton Bain. Well, that is false.
If you vote for a third party, no, what I said was, if you're going to quote me, why don't you quote me correctly, Terry? If you want to do it this way, we can.
Go ahead and tell me.
What I said was, if you vote for anyone other than Matt Van Epps, it's half a vote for Afton Bain.
No, it's a vote for the person you're voting for. This is America. Come on. We've got to stop all this false narrative. That's what's allowed us to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start voting for the people who represent us and have them go to Congress and actually represent us instead of going to push an agenda for whatever puppeteers are puppeting them.
What is your agenda, Terry? And should you be the next congressman or congresswoman from the 7th Congressional District, what would your agenda be?
My agenda is very much to bring back personal liberties and property rights. Those are being eroded from this country. From citizens of this country do not have the liberties that they were intended to have by the founders. And we need to have freedom. Limited government is essential. And that we follow our own laws instead of break them, like what's going on with shooting these boats in the second strike in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Those things are wrong. So both parties seem to be corrupt and mastered by their handlers, while lobbyists write bills that they pass. Representatives need to represent us.
Mm-hmm. So what specific legislation or what specific agenda would you support that would get us back to those personal liberties and freedoms that you just mentioned?
Well, you said agenda. I do have a bit of an agenda. I want to see us get back to that. I want to see our agendas need to change with our constituency because we're supposed to be representative of them as long as it stays within the bounds of the Constitution and protects our liberties. So those things are constantly moving. The world is constantly changing. We've got AI coming up. So agendas they're waves. They come in waves. But the agenda should be the people's agenda, not a party. Not a party, not a president. If you're a representative, you need to represent the people. And that's literally my agenda, but personal liberty and property rights.
But you don't believe that any of the Republicans who are currently serving in the House of Representatives, for example, represent the people that
I think
elected
many
them?
of them absolutely do. However, handlers and party bosses, when your party, excuse me, I did that right into the mic.
No, it's all good. I do much worse than the mic. Don't worry about it.
When your party leaders use extortion-like tactics to tell you you're going to do this or we will primary someone against you, you've got good members of Congress up there that may be afraid for their own political career, but also afraid that somebody worse would get in there. So they go along and they toe that party line instead of doing the bidding of the people they're sent to represent. If one independent were elected to the House of Representatives, that would empower those good, in both parties, there are some good people up there, that would empower them to stand up and say, no, an independent can win. So if you're going to threaten me, if you're going to use these extortion-like tactics on me, I will just run as an independent. That will set us free.
Why don't you think more people are doing that if it's such an extortion racket?
Well, just like the way this election was rigged to come down during the holiday times.
I mean, who rigged that?
Well, let's see. Matt Van Epps was working for the governor's office, and that came down from the governor's office. So why don't you ask him?
What would have been a better time? Should we have waited? Should we have done it sooner?
We absolutely should have done it sooner. We had elections in August. They could have had it, local elections. They could have coincided it so that more people could get out to vote. This limited the vote. People are out shopping. As a matter of fact, I just left a store.
So Trey Hargett's in on this too?
I think the governor's office has a great deal of influence over when elections
No. The question was, is Trey Hargett in on this too?
Well, you're asking me things that I can't answer because I don't know.
Well, you brought it up. You said the governor is rigging when the election was. Who set when the election happened?
That would be the Secretary of State,
and
state government.
And that's Trey Hargett.
And the head of our state government is our governor.
So is Trey Hargett in on it too? I'm just working.
Don't know.
I'm working
You'll have to ask him.
Don't know, but you brought it up.
I did.
So
and
you're
it's something
you're accusing the governor of what again?
I'm accusing the state government of scheduling an election to coincide with Christmas shopping time.
Specifically to benefit Matt Van Epps.
To benefit Matt Van Epps, who worked in state government.
Who won an election against 9 other Republicans with 51% of the vote. Was that rigged too?
Well, when you think about it, I haven't met a single person that voted in the primary. Most of them did not know it was happening, so I would say yes.
Yeah, but those that did, 51% of them voted for Matt Van Epps, and you're like discounting that as if it meant nothing? I don't understand.
When you've got a group, when your club meets.
The Republican. By the way, did you try to run as a Republican?
No, absolutely not.
Then why do you care?
Well, because I'm what I call a recovering Republican. I'd like to see a resurrection of American independence and freedoms. We're not getting that. The Republican Party has turned into a big government party instead of a limited government party.
You're saying you would have a better opportunity to win as an independent in a general election if the general election weren't tomorrow? I'm just trying to understand your conspiracy theory about the election timing.
I wouldn't call it a conspiracy theory. The calendar is not a conspiracy.
You claimed that the governor conspired with the Secretary of State. You just did this. Let's go through it. You just said that the governor conspired with the Secretary of State to get his friend Matt Van Epps elected by setting up the election cycle during the holidays. You said that. I didn't say that. You brought that up. I didn't bring that up. And I'm asking you to explain how all of that happened.
I'm not reading the tea leaves here. I'm reading the calendar. So I can just look at that and make an assumption and opinion that is obvious to most people looking at it.
You assume, based on the timing of this election, that the governor set all of this up to configure it in a way that would benefit Matt Van Epps.
Didn't Matt Van Epps, wasn't he the first to announce and the first one to resign from the governor's office to run in this seat?
I don't know if he was first.
Well, I believe that's what I read in the paper anyway, so you can look it up.
What paper is that?
The Tennessean.
Okay. So you read that in the Tennessean?
Yeah, from when he first announced.
I think John Thorpe was one of the first that announced, honestly. And
Yeah,
I think John Thorpe announced before Mark Green even resigned that he was running against him, and then he was disqualified, and he's running as an independent. So I think John Thorpe was probably before.
He was. He tried to run in the Republican Party, and they wouldn't let him in, saying he wasn't conservative enough, is what he told me.
Okay, so you disagree. So I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to move on to issues because I don't want to bog down in it. So, I mean, you apparently want this to be a combative interview. I do not. You have suggested that there was a conspiracy to get Matt Van Epps elected, and you disagree with that and want people to know about it. Is there anything else you need to know? We need to know about that.
Well, yeah, I think people should vote their conscience and vote for representatives who actually represent them.
Okay. And so, what specifically do you and Matt Van Epps disagree on?
Well, it'd be hard to tell you because he won't come out and talk to anybody. He won't come to the forums. He is hiding in his closet. He's acting just like Biden in his basement. That's what Matt Van Epps is. He shows up for specially curated to say a few things and not very well spoken.
Okay.
And so we don't need another guy that's hiding in his basement. That's what he is. And then Afton Ban is a lunatic.
Well, that's true. So just to re-ask the question one more time, what specifically do you disagree with Matt Van Epps on from a policy perspective?
Matt Van Epps won't put his policies out there. All he says is he's going up there to support President Trump instead of represent the people. A representative isn't supposed to be there to be a part of the executive branch. They're part of the legislative branch, representative of the people, not the presidency.
You don't agree with the president's agenda?
I agree with much of it, but not all of it. I do not agree with blowing boats out of the water and not trying to rescue people at sea. It violates SOLAS and our own maritime law.
So, I mean, I just while we're talking here, I looked up Matt Van Epps, his website, and he's got an issues page on the website. I mean,
well, you know, I know that you're here to shill for Matt Van Epps, but I'd rather you look up mine and go over my issues.
Well, I'm trying to get to. I asked you the question: what distinguishes you and Matt Van Epps, the Republican candidate? If we agree, see, once again, I think you feel like you're walking into a trap. I'm just.
This is absolutely a lion's den. I'm the one sitting here, but see, I'm not afraid to come into the lion's den.
Ma'am, what have I done that's unfair so far? I'm just asking. I asked you who you are. You brought up Matt Van Epps' military service. I asked you what you're about. You started railing about a conspiracy involving the Republican Party setting up the election at a time that would benefit the Republican. I asked you then what would distinguish you between the Republican candidate, because we both agree that Afton Bain is insane. And you can't name a policy position that you disagree with Matt Van Epps on. I'll ask you a third time.
I just told you again.
I ask you a third time. Name a specific policy position that you and Matt Van Epps disagree on.
I can tell you that Matt Van Epps' policy is that he is going to D.C. to back President Trump. He's not putting forth, and if you want to go read a website, who knows who wrote it, go for it. But that's not appropriate. The man will not.
It's his campaign website, man.
Yeah. And who writes his campaign? All the millions he's got coming in.
I mean, you said he doesn't take stands on the issues, and I'm just the
Epstein file should have been released, and thankfully that's been dealt with.
Yes,
he would not come out and say that he wanted those released. He would not until after the fact.
And you and I agree that those files should be released. And thankfully, the Republicans voted in favor of release. And so we should have it within the next 30 days. You agree with that, right?
I absolutely we should have it, and it should already be out.
Very good. So let's take a quick time out, and we'll be back with Terry Christie, who is a independent candidate for the District 7 seat. We're voting tomorrow. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, legendary football coach Lou Holtz once said, before people spend money, they ask 3 questions. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? And do you care about me? Friends, it's Matt Murphy for Eurofix, and Eurofix has built its business on answering those 3 questions with a bold yes, yes, yes. Starting back in 1999, owner Aaron Stokes was by himself in a one-car garage in downtown Franklin. A few months after that, he moved into a shop in a barn behind his house so he could stay close to his family, and now he has 5 separate locations. The barn's long gone, but Eurofix is thriving with locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. That's their latest. All work performed comes with a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty, plus a rental car available with every appointment. So go ahead and ask yourself, can you trust them? Do they care, and are they committed to excellence? The answer is always yes, yes, yes. MyEurofix.com. That's MyEurofix.com or 844-EUROFIX. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair wants you to take a look in the mirror. And let's talk about that hair. Because if you're losing it, and I understand this is a sensitive subject for you fellas particularly, but if you're losing that hair, you need to get it back with Advanced Hair Restoration. They have the easiest guaranteed solutions. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated doctors, modern technology, and best of all, you get your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees that it will grow for life. So schedule your free consultation right now at 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR. You'll qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. That's right. 629-348-HAIR or online at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
Metro Police investigating a deadly crash where a woman's body was dragged for miles. We've got that story and more at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're back after it. A lot of thoughts on the Super Text line about our conversation with Terry Christie, who's running as an independent in the 7th Congressional District. Votes happening tomorrow. Terry, tell me, during the break, Terry and I were talking about how the interview was going. She feels like she's in the lion's den. I don't want her to feel that way. So, Terry, here, just tell me what you stand for and what your priorities will be in Washington, D.C. if you are elected.
I stand for personal liberties and property rights and the American way of life. And I feel it in my lifetime. I am watching our rights and liberties be eroded by big government. Property taxes right here in Nashville right here in Nashville, when you look at Arnold's having a $131,000 tax bill on that small restaurant, this is devastating to our country. It's enriching the biggest. I watch Nashville. As a history boat tour operator right here on the Cumberland River, I see everything going up and all the locals being taxed out of being able to be a part of it while big money comes in. And everyone here's seeing that, and the voters need to understand that that's their local Democratic mayor and city council. That's where those taxes are coming from. And all government is local, all government. So crap rolls downhill. It's just the facts. So when you've got big government at the top, we see right here in Nashville what happens to the people in, this is a small city as far as city size goes, but $131,000 tax bill on that store, those kinds of things, if we don't get things fixed at the top, it's just going to keep getting worse down here.
How, as a congressman in the 7th Congressional District, can you impact local property taxes in Nashville?
As I said, crap rolls downhill. And when you've got big government at the top, the governments, our local governments, get bigger as well. It's feeding an insatiable beast. And that's what's happening to Nashville. And Afton Ben keeps on spouting affordability. Well, she's right here in Nashville, and that's actually not from the federal level. But crap runs downhill, big government's leading it. But when this woman who keeps saying affordability is part of the problem here.
I'm confused how you keep saying crap runs downhill, but you mentioned property taxes. How Washington, D.C. impacted local property taxes in Nashville?
When we're voting on party lines, we're voting instead of for the person who represents us at the local, the state, and the federal level. When we vote for people that don't actually represent us and what's best and what our values are, then this is what we get. Afton Ben was put into the State House. That woman doesn't represent her constituents' best interest. And we see this happening all over. It's based on who you know and what you can do. Well, I believe we're going to have an independence resurrection that I think the midterms next year are going to explode with independent candidates for the first time in our history that are a viable alternative. And I would love to see us have an independent caucus in the House of Representatives. Well,
I'd love a third party, or if you had enough independents to create a caucus. Can you stick around for a few more minutes? I got news to do right now. Sure. So we got Ken Weaver in the newscast. We got Nincompoops coming up a little bit later on. But we've got Terry Christie in studio with us, talking about her as a candidate for the 7th Congressional District, or running as an independent. It's 32 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we are tracking the potential for a wintry mix in Middle Tennessee between 9 o'clock tonight and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll give you the full details during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Tomorrow is Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District special election, and Democrat Afton Bain dodged a CNN question today. Is there any Kamala Harris policy she disagreed with?
Honestly, haven't thought about it. I've got 24 hours I don't mean to be flippant, but I have 24 hours to win this race. And all I've been thinking about is talking to every last voter possible at the doors and trying to make my case as to why I am the best candidate.
Well, the Tennessee Star says Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Pramila Jayapal, and former Vice President Al Gore are expected to rally for Bain virtually. But Republican Matt Van Epps has boots on the ground in Tennessee today. House Speaker Mike Johnson, during a stop in Franklin this morning, got a call from President Trump and put Trump on speaker.
Get out tomorrow morning, get out and vote, and let's make it a sweeping victory. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district.
So most polls have shown Van Epps with an 8 to 10 point lead over Bain, but there is one poll claiming it's neck and neck, with Van Epps leading by 2 percentage points. Right now in Nashville, Metro Police investigating a deadly crash on Brick Church Pike Saturday night. A woman's body was dragged for miles.
Officers say a 17-year-old hit the woman and drove off, later admitting what happened to his parents. A second driver discovered the body under his car when he got home. This woman tells Channel 4.
I kind of feel bad because that could have been me and my kids walking across the street and we all could have got dragged. But I honestly don't know how to feel about it. I pray for her family, condolence to her family.
The teen is facing several charges. The victim's name has yet to be released. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we have picked up a crash 24 eastbound at Waldron Road. That's going to be exit 64 there in Laverne. Getting to Laverne, if you are eastbound on 24, that's stop and go there from 440. Eastbound 440, that's stop and go over to 24. You've got it both directions on the South Loop downtown. Same goes for East Loop and North Loop. I'm Ken Weaver.
That's literally mimicking.
Hey, friends. So how do you feel about the body after the holidays? After Thanksgiving, you come out of the Thanksgiving gathering and you're a little too stuffed. You feel like the bird, right? You feel stuffed after the stuffing. Well, our friends at Contours LLC have a special running through the end of the year, which is incredibly amazing, and the timing's spot on. Their red light technology is the perfect solution to get rid of the stubborn fat that keeps you from looking your best. I've done this, and it works. I lost over 2.5 inches in my midsection. First treatment. It is non-invasive red light technology that's incredible. If you're running, they're running a special right now through the end of the year called the Murph. That's me, the Murph, where you get the package of a belly buster treatment, and if you use them by the end of the year, you'll get maintenance treatments every month in January, February, and March. Now, so remember that. So if you do the belly buster package, by the end of the year, get it scheduled. Then January, February, and March, it's 20% off their usual prices. In fact, they let you come in and try it for just $99 for the first treatment. So just ask about the Murph when you make the call that so many others have made to Contours LLC. Do this before Christmas and keep it off in the new year. It works. Just ask me. Safe, painless, effective, and cost-efficient. Call Contours at 615-236-9960, 236-9960. If you're feeling bloated after Thanksgiving, make this number a priority, 615-236-9960. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, a few more minutes with Terry Christie. She's on the ballot tomorrow as a candidate for the 7th Congressional District, talking to us about, and you and I were talking during the break, and, I asked you about your agenda items, and we were discussing the terminology, and I thought maybe asking you about your priorities might be a better way of saying it, and you agreed that, maybe calling it priorities rather than agenda, because you don't feel like you have a specific agenda. Is that fair?
Yeah, the only agenda I have is to do the work of the people, the people that I represent. That's my only agenda. So my priorities are protecting property rights and personal liberties.
Yes. Do you believe that part of the priorities of the people of the 7th Congressional District would be a continuation of the immigration policy of the Trump administration?
We have to fix our immigration system. Right now, some of the things that are going on in the Trump administration, I absolutely do not agree with. Other things I do. We needed to close the border. Absolutely. Seeing the press secretary's brother's former fiance who had joint custody of their child be arrested on her way to pick her child up, who was brought here as a child herself, reeks of political influence on her getting detained for deportation. That is, I do not like weaponizing political power.
We recently saw an ICE operation in conjunction with the Tennessee Highway Patrol in Nashville. Did you support that operation?
If it's getting criminal illegals out, absolutely. I do not think they should be hiding who they are with face masks, though, because if there are issues, there have been too many American citizens arrested, and you need to know who it is that's violating your rights.
Does it concern what happened last week in Washington, D.C. with regard to, the face masking? And I'm against masking. I sadly believe that it's a negative byproduct of the job. These people are heroes, but what happened last week? What happened last week with the National Guard? Is this do you feel like there's been an over-vilification of the National Guard, over-vilification of Immigration and Customs Enforcement as a result of Trump's policies?
I think there has been an over-vilification of them. I'm not sure how much of it is Trump's policies and how much of it is politically motivated media outlets. But the gentleman that shot and murdered a 20-year-old young woman just getting her life started, that was brought here from Afghanistan, I have not forgotten, and neither have many people, the talking heads on all of the Republican-leaning media saying, we've got to get these people over here. They worked with the CIA. We all watched these stories. This was all Republican-backed. And then Biden brought them over, and then Trump gave the guy asylum. That's what I know about this man so far. I don't know enough about him to go deep into it, but we have to do better at who we allow into our country.
Wait, so Donald, you're saying that it was Donald Trump's fault that he was here?
No, I just said he's the one who issued him asylum in March of this year. I'm just saying, talking on what the news has said, is that both sides are blaming the other side, and I'm saying both sides are responsible.
So back to the original question. So do you agree that if you came into the United States of America illegally, that is an act that should result in your removal from the country?
I think that we have to fix our immigration system first. We have people waiting for years and years, just like the president's press secretary's former almost sister-in-law, who has been doing things lawfully. But for some reason, whoever these administrative law judges are, they're not doing their job. Well, maybe we need new people. There is no reason in the world that these things can't be moved through faster, where you come or you go. But there just does need to be proper adjudication if you have done your paperwork properly. If you're here as a criminal gang member, I think that should be much quicker.
Now, what should happen to those who are here who have violated no other criminal rights outside of the illegal act of coming into the United States of America without the proper documentation?
You and I agree on a lot of stuff on this one. Many of these people were brought in. Both parties have driven this agenda. Both parties throughout my lifetime. We've had people coming in from particularly South American or Central American countries with no consequence. because they were needed for picking crops or whatever. So both parties allowed this to just continue to happen unhinged because our bureaucrats don't do their jobs. These people that we hire to be judges or to be whatever and departments of government aren't doing their jobs. It's a bunch of lazy people getting government paychecks. Not everybody, but a lot of them. And this slows down the wheels of government to where it's non-functioning. And what we need to do is get our government functioning. But those people who came here as children that had no say, that have been here since they're 3 years old, they don't know another country. This is what they know. They're as much a fabric of the communities they grew up in that are now young adults. This is problematic for those people who are probably as patriotic as you or I, to not be able to get vetted through and to go on decades without being able to have it heard to determine if they can even get legal status. I think that it's cruel and unusual, but I do agree with you. I've heard you say that think people who came here, because we won't be able to get rid of all of them. It's just not going to happen. But community service should be something that is required from people that were brought or that came here illegally, that if they're going to be allowed to stay. I don't really want to make it all about illegal immigrants because we've got citizens here that we need to be representing.
I'm moving on to the economic front. Would you have voted for the Big Beautiful Bill?
Not a chance in hell.
Why not?
Because there's too much pork in it, too many pages, and I haven't read it myself, so I don't want to narrow it down to specifics. But many people that have voted for it have come out, I can't think of any names right now, forgive me, have come out saying, oh, if I'd have realized that was in there or this was in there. I think we need to get back to where we are appropriating our bills based on specific agendas instead of packaging everything into a bunch of pork-infested hogwash.
So, Terry, I mean, you might feel like this is a little bit of the lion's den, but so you said you wouldn't vote for a bill that you've never read and that a lot of people who voted in favor of it are now coming out saying they're against it, but you can't think of any of those names.
I can't.
Am I mischaracterizing what you just said?
Well, you do have me on the spot, so I can't think of what I read earlier from some of them.
I just want to make sure I'm not mischaracterizing what you just said.
But the Big Beautiful Bill, when you've got government that's too much.
I'm being against it. I thought it was too porky too. So I mean, but that doesn't mean that you should be against it necessarily. I just don't want to misrepresent my position on it. It did permanently create tax breaks for the American people, which is a good thing, I think.
Tax breaks are good, but we can't sell our soul to spite our face. And that's what these kinds of bills do. It's just like Pelosi. Vote for it to find out what's in it. It's the same thing as ACA.
But you just said you were against it, and you haven't read it.
Well, I'm against anything I haven't read. I can't be for something that I don't inform myself of.
Well, but you're also a candidate for Congress. Didn't you think maybe I would ask you about this?
There's that lion's den coming out.
Didn't you think I might ask you about the Big Beautiful Bill?
Well, since it's already been done, I thought we'd be talking about more pressing current issues. But go ahead.
But you've never served in public office, correct?
No, sir.
So in order to establish kind of a baseline, it's typical during these types of interviews that I would ask you, hey, this just happened. Where would you be on this? Or you're rolling your eyes. Why are you rolling your eyes? I mean, hey, this just happened. Where would you have been on this? Hey, this vote is coming up. Where would you be on this? You didn't expect me to do that?
No, I expected you to speak about current things. There's nothing I can do about that already passing, though.
Okay, but so you didn't bother to read a synopsis of it?
Well, I'm kind of running for office, and do you remember how many pages that was?
Okay. I mean, if you don't feel like that, if you don't believe that is a part of running for the 7th Congressional District, making yourself informed about a huge bill that just passed, and how many Republicans voted for it in the state of Tennessee in the congressional delegation?
You know, I don't recall. I know Mark Green did.
All of them.
I assume they would. But
I think all of them voted for it, if I'm not mistaken.
But that's why we need to get independent candidates that will actually read the bills before they will vote on them.
Sharon wants me to stop being a jerk to you.
Thank you, Sharon.
I mean, no, and I disagree with you, Sharon. I think if Matt Van Epp said that he hadn't read the bill, I'm not trying to be a jerk. Any final thoughts about tomorrow, the candidacy, the message, final thoughts to the voters listening?
Folks, this is our opportunity, our first opportunity to be able to put someone who actually represents the people in the House of Representatives for our district. So why don't we go out there and vote for Terry Christie? Matt Van Epps is better known as Tennessee Fauci, and Afton Bain thinks we should be mutilating children's sexual organs. So why don't you vote for somebody who's actually one of you? That's me. I'm Terry Christie.
There's Terry Christie. It's 51 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, we love the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And, friends, my name is Matt Murphy, and I approve of the Wellness Institute, and I absolutely love these guys. I made the switch to Dr. Mitch, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team. Painisbad.com is the website. Why do they call it that? Because, well, pain is bad. And with Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley, they frankly understand that you need to especially with all of the pills going on and going around, with all of the possibilities of people recommending surgeries, you need to exhaust every opportunity to deal with the pain naturally before you resort to any of those things. So back pain, neck pain, knee pain, hip pain, wherever it hurts, go to the doctor. Go to Dr. Ashley and Dr. Mitchell and the crew at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. The Big Daddy Trump special still running, $12 for your first examination and treatment. That's an incredible price. 615-246-5009, 246-5009 for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and King and Associates Insurance wants you to understand a couple of things. Number one, you probably already know this. Your home and your car are two of your biggest investments, and King and Associates wants you to understand that they protect both in a way that fits your life and fits your budget. Whether you're a first-time homeowner, which is wonderful for you, or maybe you're growing your family, or you're just shopping for better auto rates, they make it so simple. No pushy salespeople, honest advice, personalized service, and policies that make sense. They're local, they're independent, they work for you, not the big insurance companies. Visit tkinginsurance.com and you'll be satisfied. Call 329-8121. That's 329-8121 today for a free quote on home and auto, giving yourself peace of mind. Once again, 329-8121 or online at tkinginsurance.com. King & Associates, protecting what matters most.
Tomorrow is Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, a special election. And Democrat Afton Bain did not want to answer questions on CNN today. We'll let you hear some of that coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. All right, so any thoughts on so here's the deal. 56 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I know that we have, I'm gonna send you a number and ask our guest if he can do 6:30. If not, maybe tomorrow. Well, I had Johnny Garrett coming on to talk about Matt Van Apps. I think we've kind of talked at the depth. We're going to do nincompoops at 6:05. So never you fear, or just after 6:05. So never y'all fear about that. I know that I bumped nincompoops for our previous guest, Terry Christie, who, and just in the interest of full disclosure, and Terry's probably listening right now, and it's true. Terry asked for equal time, and I gave it to her. Obviously, from an obligation standpoint, she's on the general election ballot, and I'm obligated to do that, but I'm also willing to do that if asked. I do not believe that we bulldogged her in any way. She feels like that she was in the midst of the lion's den. I feel like we asked her some legitimate questions, and you are ultimately the decider as to whether or not that's the case. 615-737-9986. 3225 writes in and says, I'm voting tomorrow. I'm glad you had her on because I'm not voting for that crazy, unprepared, deflecting person. She wants to say what she wants, but cries lion's den when you challenge her. I would like to nominate T-Dot for nincompoop in the news today. This is my 5th winter here. They're always putting down brine on the road before the first freeze. It rains. It washes the brine off the road before the road freezes. It makes no sense to me. It's a waste of money. That's a good one. Armchair PD said, just for Matt's tone alone, I want her to win now. What tone was that? I mean, I feel like, look, y'all give me crap when I go after people. I felt like I was nice. I get the hell beat out of me for being mean to people. And so I have somebody on. She's a third-party candidate. She didn't have a chance in hell of winning anything. And I'm nice to her for 40 minutes, and I get crapped on by the audience. What the hell's up with that? She gets mad at me because she brought up Matt Van Epps. Oh, well, he's snotty. He went to West Point. Oh, he served his country, whatever. If that's what you think's going to win you an election, okay. That's fine. I don't think that's the best strategy. That's all I'm saying. And I gave her an opportunity. I gave her an open opportunity to tell me what her priorities were, and she talked about property taxes in the city of Nashville, which I do not know why or what she believes the Congress of the United States of America can do about local property taxes. But she simultaneously talked about she's running for Congress because of the property taxes, but home rule. So, okay, so if the priority is home rule, then wouldn't you look toward the city council and the mayor's office and even the state government in order to fix that problem? I don't know. Anyway, Terry Christie. She captains boats. Call her Captain Terry. I don't endorse candidates, but if I were voting in the 7th congressional district, I would not vote for Miss Terry. I would not. Or Afton Bain. Or John Thorpe. Or anybody else that's not named Matt Van Epps. It is 6 o'clock on Super Talk.
Six o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We are tracking the potential for a wintry mix overnight in parts of Middle Tennessee. Tell you about it during the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Well, tomorrow's Election Day in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, a special election. And today, Democrat Afton Bain was asked by CNN if there is one Kamala Harris policy that she does not agree with.
Once again, policy positions are, I'm trying to make life more affordable for Tennesseans. I really haven't thought about it just because I've been so fixated on winning this race and trying to lower costs for Tennessee families.
The Tennessee Star says Democrats like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Premier Jayapal, and former Vice President Al Gore will be campaigning for Bain today virtually. Meanwhile, the Republican in the race, Matt Van Epps, has House Speaker Mike Johnson and other notable Republicans on the ground in Tennessee today. Speaker Johnson in Franklin this morning took a call from President Trump and put him on speaker.
The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district. The whole world. It's a big vote. It's going to show something.
A new Emerson College polling, the Hill survey, claims Tennessee's 7th District special election is a dead heat, with Van Epps leading Democrat Bain 48-46 among likely voters, but every other poll is showing Van Epps with at least an 8% lead. Here in Nashville, police say a woman was killed in a crash on Brick Church Pike, and her body was dragged for miles before being discovered. Investigators report a 17-year-old hit the woman, left the scene, later confessing to his parents. Then a second driver unknowingly carried the body under his car until he got home and called authorities. A teenager facing multiple charges. The victim's identity has not yet been released. Luigi Mangione, the man accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, in court today for a pretrial hearing where his attorneys are trying to get some pieces of evidence thrown out. And the U.S. Supreme Court hearing a case related to online piracy and whether it's illegal for internet service providers to patrol who puts what online. And for those who still haven't gotten a real ID, it could cost you. The TSA hiking up the price if someone doesn't show up to the security lines with a real ID or another acceptable form of ID. Here's ABC's Mulalinge.
Beginning February 1st, at airports nationwide, it might cost you an extra $45 to fly without a real ID. TSA now bumping the cost up after announcing last week it would cost travelers $18.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, crashes. 24 westbound past Old Hickory Boulevard North in Whites Creek. An accident 40 eastbound before Fessler's Lane. Berry Hill, a crash. 65 northbound before I-440. And then Tucker's Crossroads in Wilson County, an overturned vehicle. That's going to be 40 westbound before Linwood Road, exit 245. I'm Ken Weaver. You know, I could take the easy way out and just declare certain entities that have previously appeared on the Matt Murphy radio show or my nincompoops in the news today, and I would easily win. But I'm not going to do that. It's 7 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. Thank you to Representative Johnny Garrett. We were going to have Johnny on to talk about his support of Matt Van Epps and his candidacy in the 6th Congressional District. He's running for the open seat. It is open because John Rose is running for governor, and he agreed to shift until 6:30, 6:35, and we appreciate Johnny for that. Thank you for being with us. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You can join in the conversation. Not a lot of calls, although, I mean, we've had them. We've just had so many guests today, so I appreciate your patience. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to get involved, either via the Super Text line or on the phone lines, and a lot of you are on the Super Text line. So thank you to Joe Gruters, who is the chairman of the Republican National Committee. Thank you to Alice Rowley, former, a political figure, very political savant, if you will, former candidate for mayor. And thank you to Terry Christie, who is a candidate for the 7th Congressional District, running as an independent and is asking for your vote. And I think most of you know what to do. Any thoughts on Terry's appearance on the show there, Jackson?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah. I'm ready.
I posted up the photo you took of me. By the way, Ken Weaver.
Yes, sir.
You just do the news?
I just do the news, boys.
I just push the buttons while he does the news.
Oh, yes.
Several of you have asked me this question, and I think it merits an honest answer. And obviously, if I give you an answer, it's going to be honest. And the question was, why did I keep Terry Christie on for the length of time that I did? It was because I was enjoying it.
You're a sick man, Matt Murphy.
But the weird thing was, I think she came in thinking that I was going to be mean to her. I don't feel like I was mean to her.
You've been much meaner to people in just the short time I've been here.
I mean,
including me.
I just don't get it. Hey, you fellas ready for some nincompoops? I think I'm ready for some nincompoops. It's
Nincompoops in the news.
I mean, I'm not really ready for some nincompoops, but I'm going to make myself ready because it's time for nincompoops in the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. This is an opportunity for Ken Weaver, for Jackson Williams, and for Matt Murphy to enter the arena of intellectual combat. We find as our partners nincompoopery from around the globe, and we present them in the arena, and you get to judge us by voting for who you believe the nincompoop of the day is.
Who won on Wednesday?
It was me.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, it was me.
I think it was Jay Harper.
No, it was me.
People like Jay.
I understand that people like Jay, but it was me. You know why?
Because you don't remember. If you can tell me your story from Wednesday.
It was about that naked fella.
No.
That peed on the people. Oh, no, that's today. Here we go. I'm just going to go ahead with my story.
I know where you got your story from.
And I'm worried you're going to steal it.
It's the smoking gun from today, right?
It's the peace spree.
Yeah. I was going to use that tomorrow.
Okay, well, good.
Actually, no nincompoops tomorrow.
Oh, see, no. Oh, by the way, we should announce 24 hours in advance. We're out at the Men of Valor location, Valor Ridge, raising money for that wonderful organization. So we will not have nincompoops in the news tomorrow. So we will take it back up on Wednesday. I'll tell you what, as long as Ken Weaver's nincompoop doesn't have anything to do with urine, he can go first.
It does not.
Then you get to go first, Ken.
I'll go second.
You boys ready?
Yes.
This is out of Louisville, Mississippi. Santa Claus arrested for shoplifting Christmas decor. A holiday heist turned bizarre on Sunday when a man dressed as Santa Claus was arrested for allegedly trying to steal a cart full of Christmas decorations from a local store. Police identified the suspect as 48-year-old Jairus Johnson, who witnesses say was, quote, very committed to the role, complete with a red suit, hat, and fake beard. Store employees reported Johnson attempted to leave without paying for the festive items, prompting a call to law enforcement. Officers arrived to find Johnson still in costume, pushing the cart toward the parking lot. He was taken into custody without incident and booked on shoplifting charges. Authorities say the case stands out for its unusual holiday twist. One officer joked, "We've seen shoplifting before, but not from Santa himself." Johnson remains in county jail pending a court appearance.
Why was that so funny, Ken?
I don't know, man.
Ken's going to win.
Santa, I have my
you ever seen Bad Santa?
I've not. I've been told I need to.
You're going to get that's going to be one of your Christmas movies.
Because we're cranking the movies back up.
Because Matt
Friday,
wanted to take 2 weeks off.
We took 2 weeks off for the Thanksgiving thing.
Jack and Jill was so bad, Matt Murphy had to take 2 weeks off.
I can't get that crap out of my head. So, so we're doing holiday movie. We're doing Christmas movie. I've never seen Bad Santa, but would love that as a Christmas movie. No, I just Santa Claus stealing things.
That's not right.
That's no good. I feel like you should just let.
Maybe he's fallen on hard times.
Well, maybe so.
Inflation. Those elves are.
I know. Not a lot of believers. I mean, in the elves, when they unionize and then they're demanding better wages and better pay and,
heaters,
step stools and whatever. I mean, come on.
Step stools.
I mean, you got to get up to that little workbench. No, my favorite, I don't know why this makes me think, I've got to get my holiday festive attire out. I got a little bucket, it's got all the Christmas stuff in it. My favorite shirt. Well, I got one that says Feliz Navidad, bitches. But then I have another one that says, yes, you can say that. But then I have another one that it's Santa Claus, old school Santa.
Yeah.
And it says, I do it for the hose.
Please stop naming T-shirts.
Well, he does.
We're reaching the line.
Santa Claus does it for the hose. So, my story comes out of New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
The New Hampshire woman known as Kinky Kelly on OnlyFans will spend the next few months behind bars for a criminal mischief spree during which she filmed herself peeing on food at a supermarket.
Goodness.
Oh, no. What kind of food?
And on various items at a Marriott hotel.
What kind of items?
Well, I'm going to tell you the details, Jackson. I'm glad you asked. Kelly Tedford, 24, pleaded guilty to 6 Class A misdemeanors in connection with her vile antics earlier this year in Keene, a city in Cheshire County. I believe that this is a follow-up, by the way. I think we had this story originally when it happened, when she was arrested. Tedford was sentenced to 360 days in jail, but a judge suspended half of that custodial term. She'll be required to serve 180 days in jail. Additionally, she's ordered to pay $10,520.59 in restitution to the Monadnock easy for me to say, great googly moogly food co-op for contaminating grocery items, and she forced the business to discard inventory and sanitize the shelves. Tedford will also have to pay $500 to the Marriott Hotel, where she relieved herself on a comforter blanket, curtains, and an air conditioner unit.
Goodness.
An air conditioner unit. I bet that room smelled horrible.
She also defecated on the floor, so.
Goodness.
Tummy ache?
It's like Jackson after the Vandy game. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. Detectives believe that Tedford's pee spree was recorded for subscribers. She's known as Kinky Kelly, describes herself. Well, I'm not going to get into all of that. Anyway, she's going to go to jail for 180 days, and rightly so. and she's not going to be allowed back in the Woolworths. So
No,
there you
sir.
go, Jackson.
My real nincompoops are Tennessee defensive coordinator Tim Banks and the entire Tennessee Titans 2025 roster.
Duly noted.
But I do have a story for you today. Florida man arrested after building his own giant hamster wheel to try to cross the Atlantic Ocean. A man was arrested by the U.S. Coast Guard after trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a giant hamster wheel. Yes, as bizarre as it sounds, this really did happen.
What?
I'm going to call him Reza. Reza, who now lives in the U.S., originally from Iran, has actually made several attempts to travel long distances off the East Coast in his homemade watercraft. And several of those attempts got him in hot water with officials.
I ran into the ocean.
The giant hamster wheel creator said he wanted to run to London. We've seen some unique and unusual DIY projects, such as the man who turned his living room couch into a V8-powered beast, or the guy who spent a decade crafting a fully working submarine in his backyard. But this one just might take the cake. Over in Florida, Reza made a giant floating hamster wheel from buoys and wire, which is self-propelled by him running inside of it. While most of us would probably think twice about heading out into the ocean in such a craft, Reza has made several attempts to travel long distances with it. According to NPR, Reza tried to take the wheel out on voyages in 2014, 2016, and 2021. All were intercepted by the U.S. Coast Guard. He attempted it again in August 2023 when he was intercepted about 70 miles off the coast of Tybee Island, Georgia.
Don't you feel like this problem would just solve itself if you just let him go?
When he was stopped, he reportedly told officials he was trying to run to London in his DIY watercraft. A complaint filed against Reza by the U.S. Coast Guard said they quickly determined that he was conducting a manifestly unsafe voyage on the vessel that was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys.
Where'd he start? Myrtle Beach?
Florida.
So Florida.
To make matters worse, Reza had attempted to set off on the voyage as officials were preparing for a hurricane to arrive in the area. In December, he agreed in court to stop trying to embark on such voyages in the giant hamster wheel. Alongside that, court records show that he was also told he must allow the U.S. Coast Guard to safely dispose of the vessel and that he cannot build another one. Nonetheless, he's dead set on taking on the unusual challenge, but this time on dry land.
Is he starting from Miami or is he starting from like Jacksonville? Because there's a big difference.
I think Miami.
Okay.
Or
All right,
Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, I've got his distance.
Speaking to USA Today, he said he planned to run along China's Great Wall and raise money for charity at the same time, and declared he would never give up on his dreams, no matter how stupid.
So he's going to run in a hamster wheel on the China Wall?
I don't know if he could do that. You might trip. If you trip, you're pretty screwed.
It's his dream, Ken. He's not giving up on his dream. It's his dream to drown.
I think I got another one right under it. Man
Drowning.
plugs 100 chargers into iPhone at once to see if it gives him an instant charge.
And
no.
It give him a charge, I would think. Don't spit on his dreams, everybody. He won 4,330 miles is what I got.
That's how far he went?
Well, that's how far it is from.
I was getting ready to say, hell, he made it.
Did you say Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
Oh, I did from Jacksonville. So, I mean, that's how far it is from Jacksonville to London.
In a hamster wheel.
In a hamster wheel.
You're not making that.
I don't feel like you're going to make it.
You are going. I say this as respectfully as possible. You are going to die.
You're going to die.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't like agreeing with the authority here. I don't like agreeing with that. Like, I mean, I own a home. I own a hat that says on it, "To hell I won't." Right? I mean, so it's my life's mantra to defy whatever you damn authority figures are saying. But I got to say, I agree with the Coast Guard here. I think that is a manifestly unsafe vessel.
You are going to die.
You're going to die.
Maybe you ought to try it off the coast of Venezuela.
I don't think that would. I mean, once again, you are going to die.
That'll pop you twice. That'll pop you twice out there. I mean, what's the? I mean, is the hamster? I'm envisioning.
Does it deflect the sun because it's going to get unsafely hot in there?
Did y'all ever see? I'm envisioning the hamster wheel.
Yes.
Did y'all ever see the movie The Toy with Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor? Oh my goodness, great movie. Could not do the movie today because it has a lot of slavery overtones. So Richard Pryor is kind of a ne'er-do-well cleaning man at a store. Anyway, his Jackie Gleason's son wants a toy, and he's told that he can have anything in the store. and Richard Pryor's in the store, and he wants Richard Pryor.
Oh,
and so they
goodness.
hire Richard Pryor to be his little guy. Anyway, so it's weird, but you'd have to watch it. But Jackie Gleason's excellent in it. Richard Pryor's excellent in it. And there's a scene where Richard Pryor is playing on what is called a Wonder Wheel.
Yeah.
And it's one of these big inflatables. He's Wonder Wheel, Wonder Wheel. That's what I'm envisioning. He's going across the Atlantic Ocean. So Richard Pryor was running.
Does he have a like this guy Reza?
Uh-huh.
Does he have a Brita in there with him that can turn ocean water, filter the salt out?
I don't think.
I just think like if you like, because like also those things, they are heat conductors.
Jackson,
you're gonna fry in there.
Jackson, I think in the last 2 minutes you've thought more about this than Reza has. I really do.
I'm just saying
I don't think Reza.
Hate to say it.
It does not feel like this fella in your story is a long-term planner. Doesn't feel that way.
You need to be, or
That's
once
just
again,
me.
you are going to die.
I'm gonna die.
I want him. I want to see him running that hamster wheel on that Chinese wall.
Oh, that'd be good.
But if you fall,
That's so
Would y'all
weird.
get in one of those big inflatable balls and roll down a hill?
No.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
No, yeah, I do, but no way.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I think
love
we should all do it.
I think we should all do it as a show. I think we should. We should race.
Put Ken Weaver in that hamster ball.
Come on, Ken. Get in the hamster ball with us.
I
Everybody's
just
doing
cover
it.
the news, boy.
You can do the news from a hamster ball. That is Nincompoops in the News. Toy is a very funny movie. 22 after the hour. We'll get you more of your calls. Johnny Garrett coming up after the bottom of the hour at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. So Shane Ring is your personal concierge when it comes to healthcare. And if you feel like you're getting taken advantage of, if you're talking with anybody whatsoever, and they're not telling you the full story about every single different policy that is available to you, you need to call Shane. At least make him a second opinion, because Shane's not here to sell you anything. He's here to help you. He acts as your healthcare concierge. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or you're simply tired of paying too much, it is open enrollment season. And Obamacare's at it again, folks. The promises are not being kept, and the premiums are going up for 2026, sometimes even tripling in some cases, with sky-high deductibles to match. You do not have to play by Washington's rules. Call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Let Shane help you, as your concierge, find the right deal for you. Go to CoverNash.com, CoverNash.com, or call 615-465-0023, 465-0023 for our friends at Cover Nash. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yes, indeed. We're having a good time on this Monday, Election Day. Oh, is tomorrow. You having that pumpkin cake there, Jackson?
Haven't yet.
Pretty good.
Think Weaver's going to get to it before I get to it?
Yeah, I think Weaver might have eaten it all and vamoosed. I mean, you know how it goes. I mean, he's got one more newscast to go, so he might want to get it out of his mouth before he follows up on that. One way or the other, let's continue with your calls. We got Johnny Garrett coming up at 6:35. He'll talk to us about why he is supportive of Matt Van Epps, what he sees in Matt that he believes in, and what can be done. And I'll ask Johnny this question. He might be listening. Is there anything that we can get done between now and, I don't know, March, April? I feel like March, April, it's a shutdown, right? I mean, they're all concerned about running for re-election. It feels like we can't get anything done beyond a year after an election cycle, and then things turn political nowadays. Mike is in Old Hickory.
How you doing, Matt?
Happy post-Thanksgiving, Mike.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and don't want to put some rainwater on stuff, but right now the weather looks like that she's going to win pretty easily because the northern half of the 7th District is going to be under snow watch. They're going to be under ice and all that. So the voters and Republicans, historically, they're lazy. They don't go vote. And probably, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on this one, the Democrats have probably already got in their early ballots, mail ballots, whatever. But right now, if you have to have Mike Johnson and the President of the United States today intervene in this district today, that means they're worried. They're worried we're going to lose.
So I've heard this narrative, and I want you to help me understand it, Mike. So this is the only election going on right now, correct?
I don't know. This is apparently...
Okay, Mike, just use the sense that God gave you. It is a special election. It's the only election happening. So what's wrong with Mike? They need every vote that they can get. What's wrong with Mike? The Democrats use these talking points. Oh, they must be worried. They must be worried. And no, they want to win. And the president wants to express his opinion on the race. Mike Johnson does too. Why are the Democrats worried because they're bringing out tired-ass Al Gore?
No, what the Republicans are worried about is they bring Mike Johnson right here physically to Tennessee.
What's wrong with that?
Because they're worried that he's going to lose.
So you're blaming the Republicans for taking this race seriously? Is that what you're telling me?
This should be a 30-point win for Van Epps.
No, it shouldn't be. You don't understand the district. You're expressing your ignorance if you think it should be a 30-point victory. It wasn't Mike. It wasn't a 30-point victory for Trump.
Yeah, I'm going to look. You go ahead and keep attacking me again like you do, but I'm telling you right now, this is the Democrats have run a very.
I'm asking you why you what do you want the Republican? Do you want Mike Johnson to stay home?
I want Mike Johnson, yes, because that was
okay. So you want the Republican National Committee to stay home? You want Trump to stay home? You want all those people to stay home? And then if then if she gets close, you'll blame them for not participating in the election.
The RNC should have never had to even come down here. This is Middle Tennessee, Matt. This is Nashville. This is right up the state, up and down.
This is a part of a district that used to vote blue every 2 years. Don't you understand that we redrew the?
Yes, I do.
We redrew the lines. This is half of the old fifth. This is half of the old 5th district, Mike.
And why does he keep voting blue? And now it's going to vote blue again
because it's Nashville, pal.
And we're going to lose because
Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket? Who's we? Are you a Republican now? I thought you said last week you weren't a Republican.
I guarantee you when we lose tomorrow, I won't be.
Wait. So you're a Republican. You're a Republican today?
Matt, you're going to understand something. Why would the Speaker of the House and the President of the United States come to some little district down here in Middle Tennessee
because
they're worried about losing the House?
We need to win this election. That's why.
Because we're going to lose the House if we don't. And that's why they're down here.
You won't lose it. The margins are razor thin. You don't need to lose this race.
Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I'm done. It's the stupidest argument that I've heard out of the Democrats, and Mike is just amplifying it. Oh, why is Mike Johnson down here? Because he wants to win. Well, he wants to win. This is the only election going on right now. These elections are important. Oh, they're scared. They're scared. What are you talking about? You don't obviously understand the dynamics. I mean, maybe you do, Mike. I mean, it's a plus 12 district. It's a plus 14 district. It should be a fairly easy race, and I think it'll end up being a 10-point race. But you take every contest seriously. If they weren't down here, you'd be faulting them for not taking it seriously. Right now, by the way, Jackson, you're getting accused after Nincompoops in the News of being a Packer fan. And I'll let you answer on that in a minute. After we take a break, after we do the news, after we talk to Representative Johnny Garrett, we'll find out why Jackson Williams, a.k.a. Action Jackson, a.k.a. Y2J, a.k.a. Truffle Willie, has decided that he is throwing out the Tennessee Titans and rolling with the Packers.
Let's just do it now.
Okay, do it now.
Okay. So, would you agree? Hold up. I'll put myself on camera here. There we go.
There you go. You look good.
You know who?
Old 92.
You know whose jersey this is, right?
That's Reggie's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where he went to college?
One of the greatest defensive linemen in the history of the game. Where'd he go to college, Jackson?
He went to the University of Tennessee.
UT.
Same place I went.
UT.
Also, this jersey's really sharp. Looks really cool.
It looks good.
Got it for Christmas a couple years ago.
That's
Love
nice.
It. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, though, Matt. I told you this already. I saw Vols pull over.
Uh-huh.
One I've been wearing a lot.
Uh-huh.
Saw Titans pull over.
Ugh.
And then I saw Reggie. I decided today was a Reggie day.
Good for you. Good for you.
One of my favorite players of all time.
He was great.
I did a report on him in the 6th grade.
You know what he was, Jackson? He was a disruptor. He was a disruptor.
Won a Super Bowl.
He walk on the Reggie Jackson. Reggie White walks on the field. He disrupts. Erectile dysfunction. These are two words that you don't hear very often on the Matt Murphy show, but I think we need to talk about it, man, because ED can wreck your confidence. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. And it's high time we kind of faced this reality that for a lot of men, it is something that will come along, and there are plenty of things that you can do about it. If it is a matter of testosterone level loss, you can solve it. If it's another issue, any issue really, the urology-based approach at Tennessee Men's Clinic is designed to provide licensed professionals who specialize in men's sexual health. In other words, they use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation, never a one-size-fits-all deal. And secondarily, whether you're dealing with it today or maybe it's just beginning and you're noticing energy level loss, you need to take care of this business by going to the Tennessee Men's Clinic. 3 locations to serve you. The newest one is in Clarksville. They have locations in Middle Tennessee and Nashville, as well as in Cool Springs. For $99, you'll get a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right in the office, I should say, not the audience. 615-208-9090, 208-9090 for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Hey, I just got a text message. Hey, Gail, it's Robin. I'm reaching out to see if you'd be open to talking about the property at 1610 36th Avenue North, Birmingham.
Hey, Gail.
Yeah, so I've had this before. I don't know how my number got. I've had my telephone number for, I don't know.
150 years?
Sure. And you know what my response to this was? It says, hey, Gail, it's Robin. I'm reaching out about this property. You know what my response is? Sure. She said, I want to see if you're open to talking about it. And I responded, sure. Let's see what I get back.
Okay. We'll monitor the situation.
Let's monitor the situation because I'm going to sell this property if I have any ability to. Should I ask for Bitcoin or Venmo or what? You know what I mean?
Let's get Bitcoin.
Let's welcome in our next guest who was gracious enough to move his slot just a little bit because we're running horribly late. And not that he has not heard this in the past. This is probably tired and old, but my producer, Jackson Williams, who's not had a lot of victories over the last couple of days, being a Titans fan and being a Vols fan, asked me to introduce our next guest this specific way. Representative Johnny Garrett joins us on the program. Here's Johnny.
Well, thanks, Gail, for having me on today.
What's up, brother? You doing all right?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well. You know what? I saw your post. I love it. I know that you are currently repping your district up there in the Goodlettsville area. I know that you're running for the 6th Congressional District, but you spent some time also encouraging people to get out and vote for Matt Van Epps. And I just wanted to talk with you about that and the importance of this election.
Oh, it's very important. We need all the conservatives we can possibly muster up there in D.C. to bring a little Tennessee to D.C., and Matt Van Epps is going to be that person, that congressman. I can't wait to celebrate with him tomorrow his victory, and I think he is going to win this election tomorrow, no doubt. I mean, no doubt in my mind.
Well, we were talking to Joe Gruters earlier today, the Republican National Committee chair who's in the state, along with Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. As you well know, Donald Trump did a couple of telephone calls in a variety of stops today, encouraging people to get out to the polls tomorrow. But each of them described the importance of this singular seat and the idea that if we do not achieve this seat, if somehow, I can't imagine a way that this happens, but somehow crazy Afton Bain wins the election tomorrow. I mean, I can't even fathom it. But should that happen?
I can't either. I mean, even Nashville, I don't think we'll pick a congressman that hates Nashville. Right.
I mean, right. I mean,
like Afton does.
how many different ways can you disqualify yourself? And Afton has done it in one way or another, saying she hates Nashville, saying she hates country music. You know what? I don't begrudge her all of these positions. At least she was being honest back in the day, 2-3 years ago. Now she's trying to clean it up and clean it out, and she's not having a lot of success with it.
No, she's having selective amnesia at the point of her real views towards her representation of Nashville. It's a real shame that she's an elected member of the General Assembly and she hates the very places she represents.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but that's the state of where we are, right? We have President Trump is winning. President Trump has won at just about everything they possibly can do. And by the way, Matt, this is the only election taking place in December for Congress in the country. So, of course, people are going to be, one, excited about it, paying attention to it, and making sure we get the word out because people aren't used to voting in December, right? So the fact that the speaker is coming, the fact that the president called in this morning and I was there and heard that firsthand is just a testament of what this country still needs and is yearning for what President Trump's policies are doing for America. And I can't wait for Congressman Matt Van Epps to be included in that, be included in what we've been able to see President Trump's successes of the short 10 months that he's been in office. I mean, it's incredible. That's how important this election is.
You know, I get it a lot from our listening audience. They get frustrated about what's taking so long. And I think of it as a huge ship. I mean, the ship of state, if you will, is so ginormous. I think it's impossible to really contemplate mentally. And it takes a minute to stop that steaming in the direction that the Democrats and Joe Biden had it steaming. And I give a little grace to that. I mean, patience wears out eventually. But can you speak to that? I mean, I know that as you canvass the 6th and talk to people about your upcoming election cycle in 2026, as you talk to people in the 7th, I get the general sense that they're frustrated with the speed of things, and I just have to beg of them to be patient. I believe that Mike Johnson wants to get to 12 separate appropriation bills. I believe that he wants to right-size the budget and get back to a balanced budget. I believe that the Republican members of the Congress want those things too.
Absolutely, and look at the only answer to what the Democrats had was the Schumer shutdown, was to actually force Americans to pay for the health care of illegals and also $1.5 trillion more in spending like we need to do that. Sure, it takes time, but I believe, again, and I've said this many, many times even on the stump, that the past 10 months, President Trump has been the most consequential president, I believe, of our lifetime, possibly ever, for what he's been able to accomplish. The big, beautiful bill hasn't even taken effect yet. The no tax on tips, overtime, Social Security. And if you go out and borrow a car, you can deduct that interest on those loans, which most Americans pay for their cars by financing them. We haven't even seen those results yet of the big, beautiful bill, President Trump's agenda, and we are about to, and it's going to get, in my opinion, sped up because we're actually seeing the job getting done. And it's what President Trump's been talking about for years. Since he's been in politics and even before he entered into politics. Look at the deals that he's been making. I can't wait for Congressman Van Epps to be a part of that and represent the good people of the 7th District and represent Tennessee of what is left to do. We got a lot to do, but under President Trump's leadership and his agenda, we're going to get it done.
Representative Johnny Garrett is with us. He's also running for the 6th Congressional District, supporting Matt Van Epps, of course, in the 7th. And you know, I feel like most members of the General Assembly working in the House of Representatives, look at Representative Afton Bain with, I'm not trying to be rude, but kind of with a smile on your face.
Well, sometimes the truth is tough.
Right? She's a harmless, naive puppy where, she might snap at you and but she has no authority to get any of her wild, wacky weirdness done in the state of Tennessee.
No.
Thankfully,
she's not serious.
She's not a serious-minded person in the halls of the House of Representatives. What I am fearful of, though, and I want you to speak to her representation of 51 in the House, but then what I'm fearful of is if she got power, I think she's a true believer, sadly. I mean, she's very naive and very misguided, and she I don't think has ever experienced the real world the way the members of the 7th Congressional, District really have. But if she got any power, I think she would try to initiate some of this craziness.
It would be to the detriment of all Tennesseans, regardless of what party that you're in, to increase the size and the power of the government. And that's exactly what she would want to do. It doesn't work. We've seen it. We've seen how Tennessee is thriving. We have people from all of these blue states coming here because they're trying to get away from the very thing that she's advocating for her constituents. And it's falling even, I believe, on her own constituents and her party's deaf ears by her own words when she wasn't running for Congress. I mean, she has, in my opinion, imploded her own campaign, her own credibility, and has confirmed what we've all believed and what we all witnessed in the General Assembly today, that she's not a serious state representative. Therefore, she would never, ever be a serious person in Congress because let's be honest, she's immature. I mean, look at her videos. Look at what she did with ICE, with our state troopers. I mean, these are the very people that are here to protect us, and she's bragging on her own social media about bullying those folks. What if there was a young child or a young girl or a young kid, a young boy looking at this, thinking that this person's an elected representative sitting in the General Assembly, and she is actively laughing about her bullying the police? I mean, that's just so unserious and so detrimental to why people want to serve this great state, this great country, no matter what you believe in. But that is an unserious person that unfortunately the Democrats thought it would be a good idea to nominate her as their representative for the 7th Congressional.
Well, and
laughable to me.
I pointed out this earlier, Johnny, because I hear a lot of people endorsing Matt Van Epps. I hear a lot of folks coming up and saying this guy's going to do well in Congress. This is our guy, yourself included. But the funny thing is, I've not heard many Democrats in the state of Tennessee endorsing Afton Bain. I mean, I might have missed it, but I don't think her opponents in the primary, Vincent Dixie or Copeland or I forget the third one. Oh, I'll get it in a second. But I don't see any of those folks endorsing Afton Bain. Bo Mitchell is the one I was thinking of.
That's right.
Those three won about a little less than 25% of the vote apiece, and I've not seen one of them endorse Afton Bain. I haven't seen Justin Jones endorse Afton Bain. Funny that.
That's true. Oh, and Kamala Harris has come, even though she didn't even mention him and wouldn't stand on the stage with her.
That's right.
I mean, that's what they've nominated. They're running from her. That's why I think even Nashville is not going to elect a person that hates Nashville. That's admitted to that. That's not a talking point. That's not something people are putting on a mailer and making up. Those are her own words. that she has declared in this campaign that she wants to be the one to represent Nashville in Congress. People are running from her, and all of those that can hear my voice should do the same. They should get out, vote tomorrow for Van Epps. He will be I think, Matt, I think it's going to be 9, 10, 11 points.
Yeah.
I hope it's even closer to 15.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's going to be, they're going to come out, they're going to vote tomorrow. They're going to see what the choices are. Someone that wants to grow government, someone that wants to limit your rights, that wants to make government more powerful, want to raise your taxes. She's already tried that in the General Assembly. She tries to brag on this sales tax reduction, but she doesn't tell you the other thing that she does is she raises your small business tax in order to pay for the reduction in sales tax. She leaves conveniently that part out. There's always going to be a tax for the Democrats to make government more powerful. And that's exactly what she's doing. And Tennesseans have already rejected that. We have already rejected that the past decade or more since the Republicans took over the majority.
Hey, look,
in the General
but don't,
Assembly.
hey,
Look what we've got.
Well, she's got Al Gore coming out stumping for her, and Tennesseans reject.
Is he still a thing out there? Gail? Is he still?
I thought it was so
calling
funny.
You Gail, Matt.
Gail. Al Gore. Tennessee voted against Al Gore in 2000.
He couldn't win his own state in a presidential election. Guess what? If he did,
he would have been president.
He would have been president. But he was not raised here. He wasn't born here. He wasn't.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
And they bring him back. So
listen, brother,
that's desperation right there, Matt.
I thank you for adjusting time. Thank you for coming on with us, and thank you for getting through an interview without mentioning UT. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, you just did it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's a heartbreaker.
I know it, brother. I know it, brother. I appreciate you. Take care.
Have a good one.
All right, there's Representative Johnny Garrett. Good Tennessee man. I knew it. I couldn't help myself.
Of course you can't help yourself.
What? What am I supposed to do?
Just bark.
Woof. Woof, woof. Obviously, when it comes to large home repairs, you want someone that you can trust, someone that will come out to your home, diagnose a situation, and tell you exactly what's going on. That's what you get with United Structural Systems. You get.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.